What's happening, man? What's happening? Let's start off in Milwaukee.
New details tonight in an ongoing investigation. A Milwaukee woman now faces charges in a suspicious fatal fire earlier this month, but she has not been charged in connection to the death. Bria Jones is in the newsroom for us with what prosecutors say led to the tragedy.
Ted, investigators say 28-year-old Rashamba Claybrooks started a fire in her boyfriend's apartment. The fire spread throughout the building and forced evacuations. Hours later, a man was found unconscious and he later died. I talked to his sister tonight.
Help us understand. Give us a sense of peace so that we can begin to heal what happened to my brother.
Deborah Nash wants answers and, more than anything, for justice to be served for her brother, 71-year-old Sam Nash.
He was everything. Sam was a former military veteran. So his age was 71, but it was almost like he was aging backwards because every day he was up.
Investigators say Nash died on April 8th following an apartment fire at this now boarded up building on 30th and Capitol. Prosecutors say 28-year-old Rashamba Claybrooks started the fire in her boyfriend's apartment.
28-year-old Rashambra. She's 28 and her name is Rashambra.
In Capitol. Prosecutors say 28-year-old Rashamba Claybrooks started the fire in her boyfriend's apartment after they spent the day arguing, and he asked her to move out.
I hope that my brother's picture is constantly in her mind when she closes her eyes, when she thinks, when she talks. He should not have been a victim of your maliciousness.
Claybrooks is now facing multiple charges, including arson and bail-jumping domestic abuse assessments.
Nothing says anything about my brother's death. I lost my brother. None of those charges say that. Look, my brother's gone.
So what charge would you like to see added?
Homicide, murder.
Nash says she also wants accountability from Milwaukee Fire.
And walked over to a fireman and said, my brother is up there. I was just on the phone with him and now I'm not getting an answer. He said, maybe this building is listed as all clear.
She says her nephew found Nash, his father, unconscious almost 2 hours later.
How did our brother, out of all the tenants being rescued from this building, how did my brother get missed?
We did reach out to Milwaukee Fire for comment, but we have yet to hear back. As for Claybrooks, prosecutors say this was not her first time damaging the property. We also reached out to the district attorney's office about additional charges in the case. We were told.
Jeez. This is a different story. Same city, different story. Everyone hit the like button, man. Shout out to Ali O. Ali O in the building, man. It's cracking tonight, man. Tonight we just going around. We playing Pick the City tonight, man. Pick the City tonight. Shout out to Ali O, man. Super chat your cities if you want to, if you want preferential treatment. But we playing Pick a City, man. Milwaukee. We started in Milwaukee. Sisters is wilding in Milwaukee.
New tonight, a noise complaint led to the shooting death of a Milwaukee dentist. His neighbor is now charged with his homicide. Fox 6's Ashley Sears is in the newsroom and explains investigators say this was all over loud music.
Yeah, that's right, Kim. This all happened on Saturday at an apartment building in Brown Deer. Police say the victim confronted the woman upstairs and she shot him. Deer Road, the Park Plaza apartments are tucked away in a quiet setting. Saturday night, investigators say the noise inside one unit led to a shooting. A criminal complaint explains just after 11, the man living on the first floor confronted Kiana McGowan about her loud music in the apartment above him. She told police she was doing her hair and trying on different clothes when she heard loud, aggressive banging at her door.
Loud, aggressive banging at her door.
Told her neighbor she would turn the music down. She closed the door and told investigators she heard the man kicking as if he was going to break in, so she got her gun and fired one shot at the man. 41-year-old Akintunde Bowden suffered a gunshot wound to his abdomen.
Akintunde Bowden. Oh, wow. The dude's name was Akintunde. Wow. This is crazy. This is crazy.
And living on the first floor confronted Kiana McGowan about her loud music in the apartment above him. She told police she was doing her hair and trying on different clothes when she heard loud, aggressive banging at her door and told her neighbor she would turn the music down. She closed the door and told investigators she heard the man kicking as if he was going to break in, so she got her gun and fired one shot at the man. 41-year-old Akintunde Bowden suffered a gunshot wound to his abdomen and died on the scene. He's been identified as an esteemed dentist. Milwaukee.
An esteemed dentist. Wow. That brother from my tribe, man. He from my tribe, man. He from the Yoruba tribe, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yoruba land. An esteemed dentist, man. Approached his sister about the loud music. If what she says is true, I can understand why she went and got her gun. Press one if you believe the sister, man. Do you believe this sister? Press one if you believe this sister. And make sure you hit the like button, man. Make sure you hit that like button, man. Excuse me. Make sure you hit that like button, man. You believe this, sister? Hmm? Do you believe this, sister, man? That this dentist would come up there on that type of smoke? This is an esteemed dentist. I don't know, man. Sister said that, look, listen what the sister said.
A criminal complaint explains just after 11, the man living on the first floor confronted Kiana McGowan about her loud music in the apartment above him. She told police she was doing her hair and trying on different clothes when she heard loud, aggressive banging at her door and told her neighbor she would turn the music down. She closed the door and told investigators she heard the man kicking as if he was going to break in, so she got her gun and fired one shot at the man. 41-year-old Akintunde Bowden suffered a gunshot wound to his abdomen and died on the scene. He's been identified as an esteemed dentist. Milwaukee Health Services posted a tribute to Dr. Bowden on social media, saying he worked there for more than a decade and recently became the dental director. In a news release, they say he was fiercely committed to eliminating health disparities and improving outcomes for those most in need, and he will be
Well, he's a woke dentist, man. He's a DEI dentist, man. Here's the thing. After we saw that pastor in Memphis, remember, press one if you remember the story about the pastor in Memphis, the Memphis pastor. Press one if you remember about the Memphis pastor got shot by the woman at the bar. He said never ask the son to leave or turn down music. Facts, but I wouldn't put it past. You can never put it past these people, man. No matter how revered somebody is in the community or what their standing is in the community or how you perceive that they're supposed to behave, you never know, man. You never know. If that pastor could act like that, this dentist could act like this. And he got smoked. She smoked his ass. Damn.
And he will be deeply missed, but his legacy of service, compassion, and excellence will continue to guide their work.
Bowden's fiance told police he had been watching basketball at home and didn't have any previous confrontations with the upstairs neighbor. McGowan is in the Milwaukee County Jail tonight being held on a $15,000 bond. Live in the
so
newsroom.
she's being held on a bond, $15,000. So they obviously don't think it was, they're not giving her self-defense. Wow. See what else is going on in Milwaukee, man. Everybody support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Wow. Milwaukee.
After reading this complaint, it's probably one of the first times in my life that I could say I was speechless.
17-year-old Tremonte Kirk is charged with second-degree sexual assault and strangulation. Prosecutors say he raped a 54-year-old woman in an elevator at her apartment.
This is any woman's worst nightmare.
Investigators say Kirk was caught on surveillance video, watching the woman go into a store, then following her out.
This woman is disabled because of a recent surgery, and she was just going down the block to buy some groceries.
Prosecutors say Kirk told the woman he forgot his keys, so she let him in. Then in the elevator, prosecutors say he's...
Listen, man, that's a tough one. Son, man, say, hey, man, I forgot my keys. Can you let me in? We've done several videos in the past, maybe like 5 years ago, of white women refusing to let black men in their building with that excuse. Now, the black man was filming, which would probably be a lot safer, but the white woman wouldn't let the black man in because she didn't feel safe letting somebody in because, and then the white woman ended up losing her job and shit like that and getting doxxed. But it's rough, man. A lot of pressure on white people. Like, hey, I'm a brother, man. I live in this building. I left my key. Can you let me in? Because the building management tells you when you first sign your rental agreement, man, don't let nobody in here if they don't have a key. You know what I'm saying? That's protocol. They might even send around, reminders of that, from time to time, depending on things that happen at the building. Hey, be careful about letting people in, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, as a white person, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one, man, as a white person. Because you got to think, all right, if I don't let this guy in, he really lives here, I could possibly lose my job. But if I do let him in and he doesn't really live here, I could possibly lose my life. I would say white people always, which one is more important, your job or your life? I would say always in situations like this with black people, whichever decision may cause you to lose your job, that's the one you take. You make the decision that will lead to you losing your job over the one that'll lead you to losing your life. Press 1.
Sexual assault and strangulation. Prosecutors say he raped a 54-year-old woman in an elevator at her apartment.
This is any woman's worst nightmare.
Investigators say Kirk was caught on surveillance video, watching the woman go into a store, then following her out.
This woman is disabled because of a recent surgery, and she was just going down the block to buy some groceries.
Prosecutors say Kirk told the woman he forgot his keys, so she let him in. Then in the elevator, prosecutors say he sexually assaulted her and kept pressing the elevator buttons to keep it from stopping. Investigators say the elevator is old and doesn't automatically open the doors when called. Prosecutors say at one point he threatened to kill the woman. When she was shown a photo array, she told investigators it would have been easier to identify him if he were smiling. Quote, because he had been smiling the whole time he sexually assaulted her.
This is the fourth time he's been accused of sexually assaulting someone. This is a vulnerable victim.
Kirk was on GPS monitoring when prosecutors say the sexual assault happened. In 2020, in juvenile court, Kirk was found guilty of 2 counts of fourth-degree sexual assault involving 2 different people. Then in 2021, in juvenile court, found guilty of first-degree sexual assault of an elderly person.
That's a demon, man. There's nothing you can do for him. I know some white liberals will probably try to rehabilitate him or try to, fix him. You might not be able to fix this one, white liberals. You might just want to go ahead and, I wouldn't waste any resources trying to fix this one. This one's defective, man.
Kirk's bond was set at $300,000. He'll be back in court April 30th. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Christina Van Zelst, Fox 6 News.
All right, Christina, thank you very much for that. As we start to...
Yeah, that one's defective, man. That one is defective, man. Throw that one back, man. Give me another city, man. Give me another city.
They were best friends. They grew up together.
Well, last week, both men died in a shooting at a Northside strip club, and now the family and loved ones are left wondering what happened.
On Saturday, family and loved ones remembered 37-year-old Maurice Williams.
He was just finna become a first-time granddad.
Known as Herc, he was shot and killed last week while on the job as a security guard at Gold Diggers, a strip club at 37th and Hopkins.
My son died doing what he loved, and he died protecting what he loved.
Milwaukee police say 37-year-old Desmond Hampton was also killed. A 34-year-old man was also wounded, but is expected to be okay. On Monday, Milwaukee police said that man was not arrested, and the case is being reviewed by the district attorney's office. But police are still looking for more people considered persons of interest. Multiple sources tell Fox 6 that Williams and Hampton were close friends and grew up together. I spoke with Gold Diggers owner Michael Ray Sr. on the phone. He tells me he's focused on helping Williams' family and declined to speak with Fox 6 until speaking with his attorney. In Milwaukee, Bill Miston, Fox 6 News.
Yeah, Gold Diggers, man. A man said Newark, New Jersey. I don't know why Newark doesn't have their own news station. I always... That's one of the oddest things, man. Newark doesn't have their own news station. Not on YouTube. At least not on YouTube.
follow some breaking new information that we've been getting in a case that we've been following all day here on News 12. News 12's Brittany Cadet speaking exclusively to the deli worker who was robbed at gunpoint in Longwood.
It was a terrifying moment of uncertainty Monday evening when a bodega worker here at Zaid Deli and Grocery saw his life flash before his eyes.
Yo estaba poniendo una mercancía y él entró y sobó la pistola y me la apuntó. Entonces él me dijo, vete y busca el dinero. Yo le dije que no. Y me puse de rodillas y dije, bueno, hasta aquí acabé yo ya.
He says the robber pointed the gun at his face and told him to get the money. He got on his knees and thought to himself that it was his last day.
Él brincó en el counter y cogió todo el dinero y salió, bueno, porque uno lo estaba esperando afuera.
He says the robber jumped on the counter and took the money when he wouldn't give it to him and then ran outside. That's where police say his accomplice was waiting for him on a moped. They got away with $2,000 and a purse. Workers that were here at the time of that robbery say that this is not the first time they actually saw that man here inside of the deli.
Primera vez pidió un sándwich y después otro cuando el que le estaba haciendo el sándwich estaba de espalda y él oyó cuando cogió el dinero y él salió y le quitó el dinero.
He says on Monday earlier in the day, the robber came in and ordered a sandwich. He hopped over the counter and took the money while the worker making it was turned around. That worker then went after him and took the money back, but just an hour later, just after 6 p.m., the robber returned with a gun.
Uno que viene aquí a trabajar.
So he probably told him to ban him from the store after he took the money back. He probably banned him from the store, and so the Sunman had to come back. Yeah, that's true. Right said, don't ever come over here again. Unbelievable. The balls on these guys.
Y él salió y le quitó el dinero.
He says on Monday earlier in the day, the robber came in and ordered a sandwich. He hopped over the counter and took the money while the worker making it was turned around. That worker then went after him and took the money back, but just an hour later, just after 6 p.m., the robber returned with a gun.
Uno que viene aquí a trabajar, venga y hacen su fechoría. Imagínese, si le hubieras soltado un tiro, yo no estuviera contando esta historia.
He reflects on those moments, saying, imagine if the robber pulled the trigger by mistake, he probably wouldn't be here today. If you recognize these two men, police ask that you give them a call. In Longwood, Brittany Cadet, News 12, the Bronx.
That was the Bronx. Jesus. I guess we have to do New York because Newark doesn't have its own station, man. Shout out to S Freak, man. He said, salute to the nation. S Freak in the building, man. Shout out to Amazing Disgrace, man. He says, the saying was, beware of Greeks bearing gifts. I think it's time to update that. Beware of Greeks bearing gifts. That's an interesting one. I wonder what that means. That's an interesting one. I wonder what that means. Yeah. Let's see what's happening in New York.
It is day 2 of the New York Auto Show. Thousands of people descended upon the Javits Center to check out.
Jeez.
Two innocent victims shot to death by stray bullets in separate shootings this week. Alicia Reed spoke with a family friend of one of the victims.
A stray bullet took the life of 28-year-old Margie Daoud Wednesday evening in the Bronx.
Very religious kid, very polite, very outgoing.
Police say he was an innocent bystander on University Avenue when at least one gunman opened fire on a crowd of people on the sidewalk.
The first shot I heard of, with the second shot hit him, and I seen him when he dropped.
Daoud, known as religious, outgoing, helpful, and respectful, was shot in the head. He died at a nearby hospital.
It's a big loss for not just his family, but for the whole community.
His senseless death comes one day after a stray bullet hit Xenia Mete in the head, killing her. The 61-year-old was checking on her grandson Tuesday night in Harlem.
People are really feeling upset about this.
23-year-old Darius Smith, now charged with attempted murder. Anti-violence group Street Corner Resources was back at the scene of the crime, talking to the community and trying to help alleviate retaliation.
And the more people that can talk about eliminating gun and gang violence, can talk about making the community safe, can tell people what they can do.
There's still no arrests in the Bronx shooting. A 33-year-old woman was shot in the left hip and is in stable condition. Meanwhile, Daoud's family is planning his funeral. I'm told he will be buried at a monastery upstate. In Kingsbridge, Alicia Reed, CBS News, New York.
Wow.
Meanwhile, for the second straight night on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock, we are reporting on innocent victims of gun insanity. This time, a 28-year-old man was killed and a woman wounded after a gunman opened fire in a crowd in the Bronx yesterday evening.
Yeah, on Tuesday night in Harlem, a 61-year-old Xenia Mete was shot and killed by a stray bullet. She was a grandmother and a beloved fixture in the community. This is new video of the moments before the shooting.
Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo live at the scene of the latest shooting in the Kingsbridge Bridge section of the Bronx. Anthony?
Bill, Liz, there's not much that can be said to the parents of Daoud Margie to quell their anger. Their son was a hard worker, they say, a plumber, a religious man, a family man, and he's dead at 28 years old, and he wasn't even the intended target. Daoud Margie was born in Jordan, but raised in Yonkers, New York. His father brought him here for a good education, not to lose his life simply walking down the street. Video obtained by Eyewitness News shows the moment a bullet struck him in the Bronx. We freeze it before it happens.
I miss everything. He's my
Wow. Look at that. He's just walking down the fucking street. Just walking down the fucking street. He heard something. He turned around. He heard something, either the previous bullets or some melee surrounding the incident. And he turned around and boom. That's crazy.
Simply walking down the street. Video obtained by Eyewitness News shows the moment a bullet struck him in the Bronx. We freeze it before it happens.
I miss everything. He's my blood, bro. He's I'm a strong man, but still, I'm shocked.
Daoud was visiting a friend in the Kingsbridge Heights section, his father says. Police say the 28-year-old was walking to his car near University Avenue and West Kingsbridge Road just before 5 o'clock Wednesday evening when someone in a group opened fire from a significant distance away, striking him in the head.
Stray bullet. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Paul Margia, the victim's second cousin, is currently in the police academy, preparing to rid the streets of brazen criminals and the very thing that ended up taking his cousin's life.
I saw my mom sent a link to a video. I just thought it was another crazy video of crime in the Bronx because she knows where that's my profession is going to be. And it ended up being somebody that I actually knew.
Police say Daoud was not the only innocent bystander hit when the gunfire erupted. A 33-year-old woman just finished working at a nearby construction site was on her way to the subway when she realized she also had been grazed by a bullet in the hip. The double shooting in the Bronx follows the deadly shooting of a beloved community matriarch killed in the crossfire in Harlem Tuesday night. The shock and the anger for Daoud's family is still setting in.
Not a bad bone in his body. It's a great loss to our community. always the most kindest individual we've ever known.
We're standing in the vicinity of where Daoud was struck by that bullet. It was fired wildly from all the way down the block here on University Avenue. Police are looking for the shooter and 3 other suspects at this time. The victim's cousin tells me this has only motivated him more to get finished with the police academy and out on the streets. We're live in the Kings.
Yo, that shit is unconscionable, man. That shit is unconscionable the way it's like, yo, just dead. They just get to shoot bullets anywhere.
At 3:30 a.m.
Jesus Christ, this shit is so sad, man.
But first, we have some breaking news to tell you about. A man jumped on a car to stop a thief. The driver seriously injured. Eyewitness News reporter Stephon Kim live at the scene in the Bell and Bay section of the Bronx with the story tonight. Stephon.
Well, Bill and Liz, we are at Wilkinson and Edison Avenues here in the Bronx, but this wild chain of events started 2 blocks away. It ended here where that stolen car crashed into a number of parked vehicles. You can see one of those vehicles it crashed into as it was speeding down this street. Keep in mind, the owner of that stolen car was hanging off the driver's side door. So as he was crushed against these parked cars, he was crushed as the suspect was gunning it down Wilkinson Avenue. Let's show you some video now where this all began. Surveillance video nearby captured the victim double park his black Infiniti sedan, then exit his vehicle with the engine running. He ran into a Chinese restaurant. Then watch a second angle show the suspect pull up in an SUV. He slowly emerged from the back passenger door, then jumped into that Infiniti. Just as the suspect jumped behind the wheel and peeled off, the owner of the car realized what's happening and clung to the driver's side door as that thief sped off. Witnesses say he hung on for about 1.5 blocks to 2 blocks before that vehicle crashed here, seriously injuring him. Video from here shows him dangling as he crashed into those vehicles. The SUV that suspect emerged from appears to be following behind them. Police say it happened just before noon in front of 290 Wilkinson Avenue. The victim is in critical condition with head and leg injuries. Witnesses go on to say it appeared at one point the victim was run over by his own vehicle. They describe a very bloody scene.
Yeah, I was here. I was delivering a package.
What did you see?
I saw him laid out on the floor, and his leg was just dangling. It was horrible to see.
Did you see him hanging onto the side of the driver's side, though?
No. I came up about maybe 3-5 minutes later, and that's when everybody was like, oh, they went down the block.
I didn't personally see the victim, but the physical therapist said the victim was in a really bad state. His leg was almost off of his body, almost detached and pretty twisted up. He didn't believe that the leg was probably going to be saved. And as far as what I know, it was amputated, and the guy had a head injury. And I don't believe he was conscious at that point.
That's a spur of the moment decision to jump on the car. I wonder what the ratio of saving cars is like. Like, when the owner sees the person hop in the car, how many of the people that jump on the hood of the car or jump into the driver's side or hang on to the car, what's the ratio of that working? It's got to be low, man. It's got to be low, man. But we see people do it all the time. That's a hell of a mind, a hell of a decision to make, man.
Four people are dead, including 3 brothers, after a car slammed into a building in Waterbury, Connecticut. Surveillance video shows a speeding car the moment it crashed into the Hernandez Market. The force of that impact so strong, a portion of the market just came crashing to the ground. Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis is live in Waterbury with the very latest. Marcus?
And Sade, you can see the aftermath here in full daylight. You can see what's left of the front of the store. The storefront completely gone. The roof partially collapsed. The bricks out on the sidewalk. But more than the physical damage is the loss of life. 4 young men killed, 3 brothers, the youngest just 15 years old.
I just heard a loud noise and all the lights went out in my building. But wow, sad. 4 people died.
Here is that horrific moment, followed a few seconds later by a flash from the falling power lines. Violent impact that could not be survived. It was just before 1 this morning when a BMW lost control on Cherry Street in Waterbury, slamming into a corner store. Nearby residents tried to help, but couldn't because of the live wires.
But we tried to get in there and the wires was all over the place. So, it was kind of smart that we didn't because they were, we had to wait for them to secure it with the poles so the roof won't fall on top of us.
3 of the car's occupants died at the scene. A 4th was pronounced dead at the hospital. 3
brothers. So that family got to get a call. That family has to get a call that, hey, is this the home of Billy, John, and Bobby? Like, damn, yo. Or is this the parents? Oh my God. 3
dead at the hospital. 3 brothers, 25-year-old Nelson Torres, 20-year-old Caden, and 15-year-old Noel Torres were killed, as was 20-year-old Jonathan Puska. Police say speed was a factor.
The preliminary investigation.
Look at that car, man. Look at that fucking car, man. Now, these is probably Puerto Ricans. These probably Puerto Ricans.
The preliminary investigation does not reveal it to be a stolen vehicle, but this is a really fluid, ongoing situation, and we'll report that information as it comes forward.
It's truly sad. 4 lives. 4 lives. It's just sad.
As accident reconstruction teams conduct the investigation, crews work to replace the utility pole and restore service. Part of the roof of Hernandez Market collapsed in the crash. A restaurant attached to the building was also damaged.
It's sad that we can't open right now, and I don't know if the building is safe, and so we're thinking about, we don't know what we're gonna do.
Well, the integrity of the building will still be assessed. In the meantime, the investigation as to why this happened in the first place continues. It is believed the driver lost control midway up the block. It is unclear which of the victims was behind the wheel, but that car crossing the oncoming lane of traffic going into that store.
Jeez. Wow.
Developing in Fairfax County, a fight inside a high school caught on camera, nearly costing a 16-year-old boy his life. Take a look at this. This is cell phone video showing the chaos that ended with one student stabbed with life-threatening injuries and another facing charges.
And this is a type of phone call that can just make any parent sick. Somebody at their child's school has been hurt. Police are entering the building and your child is stuck inside. That fight broke out this morning in the hallway at West Potomac High School in Belhaven, Virginia. The school was put on a special safety protocol before students were allowed to leave class early.
Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder is now live at the school with the latest in the investigation. Drew?
And this has been a terrifying day for a lot of parents here in the Belhaven community, and a lot of these parents also very furious with Fairfax County Public Schools for the way that this was handled today. And we'll show you now some new video that we've obtained tonight that shows the moment that this violence broke out inside West Potomac High School.
The student in the red shirt is seen throwing punches at 2 other students in the hallway of West Potomac High School. A crowd of other students gathers around the fight that ends with the 16-year-old student in the red stabbed with a knife. News 4 has chosen to black out a section of this picture that shows the student lying in a pool of blood on the hallway floor with dozens of students watching one of their classmates bleed at their feet.
Are they safe in school? They're not.
And then I get this second video with the kid in the floor.
Parents outraged the fight wasn't broken up before the stabbing, and others desperately trying to pick up their kids from school after witnessing the stabbing. What did he tell you he saw?
He just said he was walking down the hall. A kid got stabbed by two boys. He was really shaken up, and he's like, "Please come and get me."
I'm mortified. I'm scared. I just need to see her and take her home.
Fairfax County Police say the suspect is in custody. A knife was recovered, and the victim is in stable condition tonight.
This afternoon, we've brought in counseling teams to meet with our students and staff.
I want to check my daughter out. Why can't I?
During a news conference, frustrated parents shouted at Fairfax County Superintendent Michelle Reed because they weren't allowed to check their kids out of school.
Why can't I check out my daughter from school right now? That's all I care about.
The superintendent said school security and police were still securing the area, and also they wanted to continue with lunch periods.
At this moment, they're also making sure that our 4 lunch periods happen in a calm and orderly and safe manner.
I don't care about lunch right now.
Later in the afternoon, parents were allowed to check their students out a little bit earlier than dismissal after they stood around outside of the school waiting all day to see their kids.
And then the answers Dr. Reed gave were appalling. They didn't answer anything.
The toughest question now may be impossible to answer. How did a knife get into the high school, and what could have prevented it?
Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin Davis says that the suspect has been charged with malicious wounding. He also adds that there was a third student involved. So far, that student has only been questioned. They have not been charged with any crime. Guys, back to you.
And Drew, any indication what's going to happen tomorrow at school? How the police or how the school system is going to deal with what happened there?
So far, it's going to be business as usual. We know that they had counselors here on campus today. There were a lot of students, as you probably noticed in that picture and in that video, that were standing around witnessing something that all of us hope we never see in our lifetimes. So we can certainly imagine that there will be counselors out here again tomorrow, and students who need help will certainly have it provided to them here at West Potomac High School.
Those parents are definitely frustrated. For
Indeed.
sure.
And it's been a very busy day for Police Chief Kevin Davis. Drew, thank you.
On your side has been working to get answers for concerned parents after a teenager was stabbed inside West Potomac High School in Fairfax County. Tonight, our Carl Willis is asking the president of the Teachers Union about district policy and if teachers should intervene in situations like this.
A fight between students escalating to a stabbing in the halls of West Potomac High School. Campus security and the presence of this adult who appears to walk away being called into question.
I would sincerely hope that they're walking away for the purposes of initiating emergency steps and contacting emergency services.
David Walraw, the president of the union representing Fairfax County teachers, weighing in.
And if that's not what that person was doing, then I think some hard conversations need to be had about, what.
Listen, man, the whole conversation around stabbings in schools has changed in the last month. Before a month, this was just seen as like, yo, you stabbed a kid at school after a fight. Now it's seen as, hey, was this self-defense and shit? Because the kid who ended up stabbing the other kid was getting his ass kicked. The kid who was kicking his ass, seeing that his ass was kicked, left him there on the ground and went to kick another kid's ass. So the first kid that got his ass kicked said, "Oh, I'm free. I'm back in the game." He's over there kicking another kid's ass. He got up and pulled out a knife and started stabbing the kid. Listen, man, all this stuff is hella controversial now. Last month, it was just like, yo, you stabbed a kid at school, you expelled, and now you going to juvie or whatever. Or you facing charges. Now, it's like, well, we can see he was getting his ass kicked, so I guess it's a self-defense. Self-defense in school when you get your ass kicked in a fight? So now you get to kill people when you get your ass kicked in a fight inside of the school and then claim self-defense? This is new shit. This is all new shit. This is all new stuff, new ground, man. And it's gonna keep happening too because kids are aware of it now. Kids know that. Look, not only is there like this self-defense thing that people talking about, but like yo, you can become famous. You can become famous like Karmelo Anthony. You can become fucking famous off this shit. And rich. I knew this was going to start happening more. We're going to see this a lot more too. Kids stabbing other kids and crying self-defense.
What might have been going through their head.
7 on your side asking if there are guidelines for teachers to follow when fights or attacks are happening. In a situation like this, what is a teacher realistically expected to do? While Rod tells me that he's unaware of any set policy.
I think anytime that
back in the 90s, when I was in school, it was no question the teachers intervened, male or female. It was no question. We've made everything so complicated. It was no question. Custodian, lunch lady, whoever, they're going to intervene and come take the knife from the student. Assistant principal, science teacher, whoever. Especially if it's a male, they're going to intervene in a fight, any fight. Try to break any fight up. That's just the way it was, man. Now it's what should a teacher do when he sees a student like what? We done made everything so fucking complicated. Press 1.
What is a teacher realistically expected to do? While Rod tells me that he's unaware of any set policy.
I think anytime that you see a situation where you have, where there's a physical altercation going on, putting yourself in the middle of it is not necessarily a great idea. Sometimes that's a good way of getting yourself hurt, but you would want to, try to clear the area of students. You would want to try to clear other folks out of the way.
The Fairfax County Superintendent tells 7 News it is never acceptable to just walk by dangerous behavior. Thursday, the Fairfax County Police Chief told our Michelle Marsh that there was another adult who stepped in.
One of the teachers actually came behind our perpetrator, the one who was doing the stabbing, and came behind him, put him in a bear hug, and held him tightly enough until he dropped the knife that he was using to stab the other students.
For now, the union president asked those who are seeing these images to not jump to conclusions.
I just hope that folks have enough patience to let the investigation go through, to let, that process go through.
In Fairfax County, Carl Willis, 7 News.
I check out my daughter from school right now. That's all I care about.
But how am I certified that my son is safe in school? I'm sorry, but I'm just frustrated. This is crazy.
We showed you that exasperation from Fairfax County parents last night, upset that students were kept in classrooms and they couldn't pick up their kids. 7 News is on your side, looked into the school system's policy. According to its website, in security situations deemed stay put, stay tuned, which yesterday's stabbing was, students can be released to parents with proper identification. So we asked the school system why that did not happen. FCPS released a new statement tonight saying, quote, "We understand that this situation was upsetting to parents, but it was a necessary course of action. In situations of this seriousness, we defer to law enforcement for much of our operational direction," end quote.
Wow. 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 Let me drop the link, man. Make sure y'all support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. hit the like button, man. I'm gonna drop the link, man. Drop the link. All right. There we go. What's happening, man? What's cracking?
Not much, man. Just I knew right then and there, like, if Karmelo, they don't throw the book at Karmelo and they let him off, this whole fucking country's done. Because then shit like this is going to be normalized.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
definitely, man.
the thing that these fucking white liberals don't understand is that's going to put more black lives, that's going to end more black lives than anything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Press 1.
Oh, yeah. Because whenever you loosen up laws, as we've seen with, as we saw with 2020, the second you loosen up any law, or roll back any law, the black community spirals into like chaos. You know what I mean? Like utter chaos.
I remember watching on your show, you guys were talking about how there've been 4,000 more murders or something like that. Floyd, yeah. A year?
Yeah.
Well, they don't want to talk about that. It's fucking nuts.
And these were still hombredos. These were two hombredos. Hombredo crime. But it's headed to the sun. The sons are going to... We're going to start seeing more violence between sons in school and more claims of being bullied and more claims of whatever the fuck, whatever it takes to get out of the trouble. But yeah, we'll see more violence in the schools, deadly violence. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see what else is going on. What else? Give me another city, man. Give me a city, somebody. Give me a city for
Miami.
Keep it pushing, man. Hold on. Man said Tulsa. That's a good one. I guarantee you they probably talking about the goddamn riots, the Black Wall Street riots. Every time we go there, they still talk about that shit like it happened yesterday.
We have a tornado.
Let's see what's going on here, man. No, that's all.
We have a tornado.
Let's see this one. Let's see what's going on.
New developments today. Laura and Ashley's law passed out of the Oklahoma Senate Appropriations Committee.
and is now headed to the Senate floor.
This bill comes more than 25 years after these two 16-year-old girls, Laura Bible and Ashley Freeman, were kidnapped and killed. Neither of their bodies have ever been found. Fox 23's Paris Rain joins us live in studio after talking to Laura's mom tonight as the bill moves one step closer to the governor's desk.
Yeah, Shay and Nathan, Ms. Bible says today's vote shows her that more people are learning about Laura and Ashley's story. She hopes that the bill can soon be signed by Governor Stitt so no other family has to experience the same pain.
I received 21 ayes and 4 nays to declare House Bill 1001 to have passed.
Wednesday afternoon, the Senate Appropriations Committee passed House Bill 1001, also known as Laura and Ashley's Law. Laura's mom, Lorene Bible, says she didn't know it was being heard today. But the outcome lets her know the girl's story is being heard.
We've done a lot of heavy praying that, as it goes forward, sent a lot of emails to senators to let them know this is coming.
December 29th, 1999, Laura went to her best friend Ashley's house to celebrate her 16th birthday. She never came back home.
The night of the 29th went into the Freemans. They shot and killed Daddy and Kathy, and they abducted the girls and burnt the house to the ground. 25 years later, we still don't know where the girls' bodies are.
She says while it has been more than 2 decades, they haven't stopped looking for both Laura and Ashley or telling their story.
We still are searching.
Has anybody been brought to justice for this? Laura and Ashley?
I think you said the killer's name too, but I think you just didn't tell them where the bodies were.
Because they said somebody burned down the house and killed some other people, right?
Yeah, they shot into the house. They kidnapped the girls. I think burned it down. Something along those lines.
Wow.
We did go and we put a camera down a mine shaft. Still continuing to look for the girls. We did that on Wednesday.
Bible says Laura and Ashley's Law is not just for the girls, but for all families in Oklahoma.
It states in there that if you are convicted of accessory to murder, and once you get your sentence, that you will serve 85% of that sentence, just in like if you were the one that actually did the crime.
Ronnie Busick, the only living suspect in Laura and Ashley's case, was released from prison after serving just 3 years of his 10-year sentence. She has one message to lawmakers as the bill makes its way to the Senate floor.
It's not about being a Democrat or a Republican. This is being a mom, a dad, a grandpa, a grandma, an aunt, an uncle, a brother, or sister to a missing child that is taken off the face of the earth. And all that your family goes through to try to bring reason to what happened.
House Bill 1001 will now go to the Senate floor, and if passed, it will go to the governor's desk to be signed into law, which will go into effect in November of this year. Live in studio covering News That Matters, I'm Paris Rain, Fox.
Thank God it wasn't no sons that killed them, it was some white boys that killed them. Thank God, man.
Doesn't matter. I mean, there's still 2 young white ladies who can't pass on their genes, so it's still a loss. But
okay, well, let's see. What else is going on? Out here. Let's see what else is going on out here. Tulsa's kind of over with. Kind of slow right now. Give me another city, man. RIP to Laura. Laura, hold on. I'm gonna let the chat do it. Salute to Eric S, man. Eric S says, vacation to France and Netherlands was amazing. Them gliders got it going on with preservation, infrastructure, innovation, and transportation. You got to come up and tell us about the trip, Eric S, man. Tell us about the immigrants and all that stuff, man.
What about that city from Georgia that black mayor? He was a wild boy. I think he did a
South
story on him.
Fulton. You know, South Fulton.
Yeah.
Yeah, South Fulton. They don't have. That's Atlanta. They don't have their own station though. They
Oh,
don't have
okay.
their own station. Yeah, it's just yeah. All right,
The
guys.
boy,
What's up?
the boy wasn't picked up in the first round, losing first round money, man.
Oh yeah,
Shador.
you know that yeah, he felt bad. I mean, they said he doesn't play on time, and I started realizing that when they said that, I said, damn, because I saw almost every one of his games back to Jackson State. Um, and yeah, he when I really just had to be honest about it, he doesn't play on time. He scrambles a lot when he need to get rid of the ball. Like a lot of those sacks, a lot of that getting sacked was his fault. You know, when
Yep.
you just really just cut through the when you just really just cut through the bullshit. I mean, listen, man,
Look, I'm happy. My Haitian brother from Boise State, the running back, he got picked up 6 overall pick. So
he's Haitian.
yeah, he Haitian like me,
Oh,
Haitian American. Yeah,
I saw his family. They look like FBAs, man. You talking about Genty? Oh yeah, but actually,
Genty. Yeah, listen to the name, Genty.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Um, wow. The Genty was he's gonna be a good one, man.
They
Him
from
and
Florida though. That's why they look like FBAs. They from Florida, so
okay,
it's a little different.
okay, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, he speaks very well. He's very well, very educated young man, very smart. Um, very very well, very good kid, man. Very good kid, man. He's
Yeah.
easy to root for, man. I hope he does great, man. I really do. Um, I really do hope he does great. Let me see. Somebody said I'm frozen. Oh, I'm frozen. Let me kick off and come back on.
Knock you off screen.
Am I
I can
back?
hear you now. I can hear you. Well, I can hear you, but you off
You can't
screen.
see me. You
Yeah, I
can't
can't
see
see.
me.
Not like John Cena. I
Um,
can't see.
yeah, okay. Let me see. Let me see if I can fix that. Um, there we go. All right. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Um, let's do the gun memorial game, man. We ain't done that in a while, man. Gun memorial game. Make sure y'all support the channel, man. Support the channel. We're gonna bring you some goddamn things that no other channel is capable of bringing you, man. We're bringing you some things that no other channel is capable of bringing you. They can't do it, not because they're bad people, but because they don't really care about shit like this. I mean, it's seriously, right? They don't fuck about it. But here this is stuff that's very important.
They don't
Um,
got the balls to cover it. That's why.
they don't have the what?
They don't have the balls to cover it. That's why.
Mm. Look at all these people. The latest date we have is April 22nd, Tuesday. These are all the homicides by guns in America. Got some white folk in here. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what happened to these white people, man.
Oh
Man
yeah.
shot and killed after road rail. Oh, this is Gonzalez. This is on Brito.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an
Brito's.
Brito, man.
Yeah, they're about that, man. Same level.
Yeah, anybody could have killed him though. Yeah, anybody could have killed him. Let's see the gliders, man. Let's see who killed these gliders, man. Where he at? Right here, this guy right here. Mount Morris, Illinois.
I think he invested.
You got a GoFundMe. He got a little article over here. Deadly Mount Morris shooting under investigation. Oh wow. A big old white guy was taken into custody for killing him.
Wow.
Okay, he got killed by a white guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the reason, those if you knew, a lot of times, man, the majority of these white people on this that get murdered by guns in America are murdered by black people. But so far today, that one white guy, so white people, you're 1 for 1. Probably blacks, we're off the hook so far. We're not responsible for any of these white deaths so far. We 0 for 1. Says this guy right here, 20-year-old man shot to death in Mobile County, was an absolutely best, truly. Bond set for Wilmer man jailed and charged. So they know who killed this guy. Wow. That's interesting, man. These white people, are whacking each other. Damn. Yes.
Even the judge knows sometimes there's no substitute for the best. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call Green & Phillips right now. Call or come by anytime. 251-300-2000.
I might need to call that for my ankle.
Killing a 19-year-old was in court for the first time today. A judge handing down a bond of just over $330,000 for Jason Covington. Court documents show the victim, Landon Phillips, and 2 other people were arguing at a house in Wilmer when Covington walked out with a shotgun. Documents also show the victim was allegedly trying to leave when Covington fired into his vehicle. If he makes bond, he'll be on electronic monitoring and cannot contact the victim's family.
Wow.
Two for two.
So they're 2 for 2, man. What the hell going on, man? Black
Gliders
folks,
Gliders is like, we want to get in this board.
Yeah. Come on, sons. Ethan Samuel found shot to death in Inglewood.
Always up to no good.
He was found shot to death in Inglewood, Chicago. Oh wow. As advocates call for change. So he was one of the people. We did this video the other day. He's one of the people that got killed when the advocates were out there. Said that it's too much crime in the neighborhood.
Wife's not going out there alone with them.
At Chicago, police say someone found a 16-year-old boy shot to death on a sidewalk. This happened just before 2 this morning near 72nd and Green. That is in the Inglewood neighborhood. It's unknown who fired the shots or where they came from. We are working to find out the victim's identity.
Wow. That's all they got? That's all they got for that kid?
I think that's his son.
Yeah, that's nobody in custody. Man.
Happened in Inglewood. It's got to be a son.
Yeah. Ethan Samuel Warda. Is he Latino or is he Arab?
I think he's Samuel. Arab.
Sand, he's sand demon, desert demons.
Just like facial features, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit! Look at this dude.
Yeah, check him out.
This fucking guy. Holy shit!
He looked like what's the name? Jackie from what?
Right.
What's that movie?
Oh yeah, with fucking Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
Wow. Let's see what happened to this guy.
I bet you it was a glider who killed him.
You think so?
Yeah, it happened all the way out in Indiana, so that's my hunch.
News of two men who died in an incident over the weekend. Sunday, officers went to Hinton Drive in Fort Wayne and found 46-year-old Jeremiah Lothamer of Fort Wayne, who'd been shot several times. He died at the hospital. Officers say the suspect in that case, now identified as 38-year-old Christopher Debus, then took police on a chase ending in Whitley County. Police say the suspect shot at officers and police shot back. Debus died at the scene. State police are still working to figure out if police shot Debus or if he took his own life.
OMG.
Okay, so he allegedly took his own life, or the police shot him. So he was out here wilding. That white boy was wilding, man. Man, white boy. That's good though. We off the hook. The racial tensions. You white people talk a lot of shit about how much we kill y'all. We've slowed down a lot, man. This happened in Jackson, Michigan. He was killed in his Jackson home or while visiting a Jackson home. John Lush. Jackson, Michigan, though. It's not Jafrica. Investigators have identified at least 4 suspects who may be involved in the shooting. No arrests have been made, and the shooting remains under investigation. This white boy's death has been still under investigation. Kimberly Lettner. Kimberly Lettner. Come on, Lettner. There you go. Suspect charged in wife's death due in court. Does she look like a mud shark or
What do you think, S Freak? Because you the S Freak with this.
I'd say, I don't know, man. It's 50-50. I'd say she's probably a glider. Killed by a glider.
ABC 36 News Now.
And in Pulaski County, a man charged with murder in the shooting death of his wife is due in court today. Now, the detention shows 61-year-old is scheduled for a hearing at 9 this morning. Deputies say they found his wife, 50-year-old Kimberly Lettner, shot to death inside their home in Eubank after he allegedly went to a neighbor's house and told them he had just killed his wife. Investigators say if you have any information that could help in this investigation, you're asked to contact the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office.
Gliders are hot right now.
I know. White on white crime, man. Y'all kill each other, man. Don't blame that shit on us, man. We didn't do nothing for real this time. Let's see. Lloyd.
What about that kid? Oh, okay. No, this got to be a glider.
He an older guy, man.
Yeah, you right. You right about that.
Seniors
Yeah.
and shit. But yeah, it says, yeah, it should have been self-inflicted. It said that they still doing the investigation, so they don't know what that one.
What about that kid in that corner with the glasses? What the hell? He looked like Umbrito.
Yeah, Umbrito, man. Here go that dentist I covered earlier. We covered him earlier in the store, earlier in the show. He told his sister to turn the music down. She was in the apartment over top of him. She clapped it. But it was. She said he was rude when he came up there. He was like banging on the door, kicking on the door. So she had to, man, peel his cap. Shelly Ann Leave, murder suicide.
Glider.
Yeah.
That doesn't even it's no question.
Seth Barker. Possible arson and shooting incidents.
Son.
You think so?
Yeah.
Coroner IDs man found shot as police investigate. Yeah, they don't have any suspects on this guy.
It's in Ohio. There's a lot of son crime in Ohio.
Yeah, but you need more than that. Wow. This is amazing, man. All these white people getting killed by other white people or not being able to decide.
That woman was killed by a son. It says teenager suspect and all that. Go back to that.
Oh yeah, it did. Hold on. There's one suspect identified in Nelson County murder. Let's see. Caitlin Ann Hypes is identified as the suspect. Okay, so this guy got murked by a young girl, 22-year-old. Which one was this?
That girl, yeah, Frick. Amy Leanne Frick.
Frick. Oh, teenage boy arrested for Borgia double murder. Oh, so her and her husband both got killed. Oh, it was a teenage boy who lives in the home. So that could have been their kid. Yeah, teenage boy who lives in the home. That's probably their kid, man. We are off the hook, man. Aaron Weibel. He looks kind of.
Columbia, South Carolina. That's a heavy Sun City.
He looks kind of adjacent. Man killed by teen in Arby's parking lot.
Son.
Police began being the victim, and the suspect had been arguing. The victim and the suspect had been arguing.
Behind every challenge, there's hope. Behind every number, there's a story of strength. And behind every individual or family affected by substance misuse, there's a pathway to recovery. If you or someone you care about is ready for help, the support you need is right here.
And
Maybe it's in the back chat.
learning more about a deadly shooting at an Arby's right down the road on Garner's Ferry Road. The Richland County coroner has now identified the victim as 34-year-old Aaron Weibel of Camden. Columbia police say a 16-year-old is now charged with murder and also a weapons offense. Investigators say the teenager and Weeble got into an argument in the parking lot of that Arby's last Thursday night. That fight turned physical and ended with Weeble being shot in the upper body. The teenager is currently at DJJ.
Argument with a teen at Arby's, got clapped. That probably was a son teen, but we can't prove it. Feels sunny. Go
All I
ahead.
know is he didn't have the meats. Pause.
Yeah. Let's see. Wow. Hey, man. But look at how many are black. Like, picking the white ones is like picking that shit out of pepper. The majority of these people are black. The vast majority of these motherfucking homicide victims in America every day are black. That's why I don't even touch those ones, because you know who killed them. You know they were killed by their own race.
Damn. Not good.
Yeah, man. Fucking sad, man.
Shake.
Everyone hit the like button, man. Right now, if you have not touched the like button, touch it right now. And if you have not supported the channel in a while, man, we need some new supporters, man. We need some new people to still support the channel. Some people who have yet to support the channel or haven't supported in recently. Make sure you guys take a moment to hit the PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat to support these streams. These streams are demonetized. All these streams are demonetized. Make sure you help us monetize these streams. You guys monetize the stream via PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. Let's see what else is going on here. And is this his sister? Let me see.
Hey, what happened to Carmelo Anthony's secret location? What's that all about?
They moved him, and the judge said it was okay because he's supposed to be in the house. The judge okayed it because they've been lying about getting all these death threats from white people and shit. Then some reporters went to the local police station and asked, and they were like, "We haven't had any reports of anybody doing anything to the Karmelo Anthony family." So I think they're going to milk this.
The judge is completely compromised.
Yeah, I agree with that. However, though, like talent, the judge may be completely compromised, and this trial might not take place for a couple of years. So maybe through the ups and downs of getting this trial to finally take place, maybe somebody else can get in there. But in Texas, the white judges are super woke. We covered that. The Latino judges are super woke. They talk about Palestine. They protest for Palestine. These people are bonkers. So it doesn't matter if it's a black woman necessarily, a white woman, a white man. In Texas, a lot of those damn positions are just people that are insanely woke. Let's see what else is going on, man.
All new at noon, we have learned the identity of the man accused of shooting a beloved deputy
Trey,
cop
man.
in downtown Houston yesterday. Good afternoon. I'm Sherman Chow. The suspect and Deputy Constable Sheila Jones both remain in the same hospital, Memorial
Bucket
Hermann and Medical
smash.
Center. Both are expected to recover. And this is a new picture from the Harris County Deputies Organization of Jones in her hospital bed. Our Ugochi Iloka joining us live from the newsroom with more on the accused gunman who has already had 6 felony convictions. So Ugochi, what kind of charges is he facing now?
Hey, Sherman, right now, 34-year-old Parnell Tremaine Bland is charged with aggravated assault against a public servant and unlawful carrying of a weapon after allegedly shooting Deputy Constable Sheila Jones yesterday. We're also learning from court records Bland had posted bond last week for criminal trespass. Now, this is cell phone video that shows Deputy Constable Jones running towards who we now know is Bland. Sources say Jones was guarding the law library in downtown Houston Monday afternoon when she got a weapons disturbance call regarding a man with a gun. Officials say a shootout later took place and Jones was hit, luckily while wearing a bulletproof vest. Before working for Precinct 1, the decorated Army veteran started with the Harris County Sheriff's Office in 1989. From there, she was promoted several times, including to major in 2013. She was even a part of an historic trio of 3 women on its command staff for the first time. Here's how officials say Deputy Jones is holding up now.
She's in good spirits. She's being tended to by the best doctors in the country. She saw a situation that could have been catastrophic. He was armed with multiple firearms, displaying them, and obviously willing to shoot. And because of her, we don't have a mass casualty event.
Yeah, Harris County District Attorney Sean Tier there praising Deputy Jones for heroic actions regarding stopping the shooting suspect. Now, I spoke to Precinct 1 about an hour ago over the phone, and they say while Jones is still in the hospital, she's thankfully in good shape. Live in the newsroom, Ugochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
All right, Ugochi, thank you.
A mother is seeking a break before the trail leading to her son's killer goes cold. She is now releasing video of the deadly gun violence that killed him. Fox 13's Martin Staunton joins us live outside of the Tillman Police Precinct. Martin, she's been waiting for almost 2 months now for answers.
She certainly has, Darcy. Her name is Nika Brown, and she says that she wants to release this footage to try to generate some leads before the case grows too cold. Take a look at this video there. The video shows a group of young men leaving a rental home that was the site of a birthday party. The gun violence and death of Darion Brown there sent the party attendees running. Brown says that no one is even identifying any of the young people seen in that door cam footage. She says she doesn't know how to penetrate the wall of silence that's gone up, but she doesn't believe that Darion would have stayed silent if it were one of his friends that was murdered.
And Darion had a good heart, and if it was one of y'all, he would be saying something.
What kind of answers are you getting from investigators?
None. Just spoke with the detective. He's saying that he doesn't have enough information or evidence to bring in the people to be questioned.
Now, right now, again, there are no arrests in this case. We did reach out to Memphis police, but right now there is no update. As soon as they share it with us, we will share it with you.
That's gotta be horrifying to see these niggas at your fucking door, man. That's gotta be horrifying.
Young men leaving a rental home that was the site of a birthday party. The gun.
Oh, that's Airbnb, okay. Yeah, anytime it's Airbnb and Sons, run.
I'm glad they changed the rules with that, man. But they still beating it.
What did they do?
Well, they trying to make it strict for them sons to not get it, but they're trying their best.
I don't see how they could do that without being called racist.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
There's ways around it, especially overseas, because I do that when I go overseas.
Without violating some sort of rights act.
Overseas, you can kind of get away with it. Ah, you good? Ah, you good?
Wake up, Ak.
Yeah, I'm waiting for y'all. Y'all got
Oh
anything to
yeah,
say?
nah, we good.
Any
Oh,
last words?
no. I mean, I'm just waiting for y'all to. Yeah, this is yeah. Let's see.
Getting you started with breaking news today at 5 on your news leader. 2 people are dead after a shooting in the South City area. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hurst. This all happening around 3 this afternoon near the intersection of Mississippi Boulevard, Lauderdale Street, and Georgia Avenue. WREG's Brian Didlake was the first reporter on the scene. He joins us now live with the very latest. And Brian, what do you know out there?
Well, Greg, Stephanie, right now we know in the past 5 minutes when Memphis police came to us live with that presser talking about what happened here, they said that 2 men were pronounced dead on scene here near South Lauderdale and Mississippi Boulevard. Now, I want to go show you the family is on scene right now. They are visibly upset right now. Greg, can you go towards that stop sign? That is where we're seeing the family here right now who came on scene, and we overheard as they were talking with police that one of these victims was their only child. And again, you can really see the unfortunate situation that this family has found themselves in when it comes to dealing with this loss. Again, right now, we know from Memphis police that 2 men were pronounced dead on scene. Real quick, if we can go to WREG's chief photojournalist, Spencer Chevalier, he has the other side of the scene where we're seeing a little bit more of what's going on out here. You can see a blue tarp on your screen. That is where the shooting took place when we were told about this from Memphis police. An eyewitness on scene, we spoke with him. We were the only people to speak with this man. He says that this shooting happened right in front of him.
Yeah, I saw while sitting at a desk across the street, I saw this young man. It looks, well, let me just say it appeared to have been all males. I couldn't see a face. They had on, it had to have been about 3 of them, I think. They all had on ski masks. And it appeared initially that there was a crowd, and then I think I heard a shot, and they scattered, and then they shot this guy, and then one of the guys that was masked, he came back and started shooting this guy with an automatic, and it was as if he had to have been 6 to 8, maybe even 10 shots that they put into this man.
Jesus Christ. Jesus. Homie, he laid the whole scene out though. You gotta get that to him. Wow. Wow.
Like clockwork.
We are staying on the air with you as we continue to follow this breaking news out of Southwest Miami-Dade. Alarming video that you just watched and listened to with us, posted on social media earlier today. According to NBC6 sources, our sources tell us a suspect is dead. Multiple people are hurt after this shooting that happened at a business warehouse district in Southwest Miami-Dade.
And the shooting around 1:30 earlier today prompted a massive police presence and response, as you're seeing there from our video from Chopper 6. Video showed deputies with shields, guns that were drawn, surrounding buildings with rifles, taking cover behind cars.
I want to show you this video as well from earlier today as officials and investigators and deputies went door to door looking for the suspected shooter. You saw that moment right there where they really focused on one of those different areas. And this is video from the ground. And we take you back here. This is one of the forced entrances that they made as they were looking for that suspected shooter. What you see there are individuals who were there just going about their day, working inside, coming out with their hands up, unsure of all the havoc and the chaos that was happening outside of their business.
And now at 4 o'clock, we're looking live at Chopper 6. If we can show you what it looks like now, very different picture, a calmer, more controlled picture of Chopper 6 here, southwest.
Deadly warehouse shooting.
They didn't tell us anything.
Nothing. Deadly warehouse shooting. Let's see this.
And our team coverage continues now with CBS News Miami's Mikaya Carrero. She is live at HCA Florida Kendall Hospital with the latest on those who were shot. Mikaya.
Well, Jim, everyone injured in this shooting were brought here to HCA Florida Kendall, including the man who died and the shooter. Family confirming to us they were half brothers.
Wow.
It's honestly really shocking, very unexpected. An ambulance and Miami Sheriff's deputies brought multiple people to HCA Florida Kendall Hospital after reports of an active shooter at a car dealership, shutting down the hospital and emergency room entrances. One of the people brought to the hospital was this man, 38-year-old Eduardo Rivero, also known as Eddie. Family telling me he was the president of Price Right Motors.
The shooting happened at the dealership. There was some kind of misunderstanding. What I do know is, unfortunately, one of the victims is related to the shooter.
Emotions
running high after Eduardo Rivero died at the hospital. His distraught brother spoke to reporters outside.
The shooter's alive. He killed my little brother's deceased. My little brother's name is Eduardo Rivero.
Well, that's Brito on
According
Brito.
to the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office, Rivero was not only the victim and intended
Straight
target,
cousin.
but also the half-brother of the suspect, who is in critical condition.
This was clearly a family.
Yeah, this is a family affair. This is some domestic shit.
Yeah, this is some Brito shit.
I'm glad it wasn't. The Suns have been pretty quiet today, man. As far as like the homicides, man, it's been a very,
Don't speak too soon, Hawk.
You guys was hot, man. 4 for 4. You got a little deal right there.
Let's see.
Can we beat that streak?
Let's go to Philly, man. Give me a city then. Give me a city, man.
Baltimore.
Give me a city.
Come on, man.
Shout out to Andy Armour, man. Andy Armour says, "Pledge. Sorry about all the recent crime. We just trying to get a jump on the next summer of love." Yo, the summer of love, we might have one. You never know, man. The tensions are already brewing with the whole Karmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf case. If the right thing happens, maybe we could have a little summer of love, man. But I think people are like tired of seeing people burn down stuff. I think that would be that's frowned upon.
I think if people rioted, the police response would be justifiably strong. I think they could shut it down if they wanted to.
I don't think so. I mean, what makes you say that, KB?
Because it'd just be a bunch of angry sons, and there aren't that many of them. And there'd be some white liberals who are all pretty much pansies.
Yeah.
But think about 20, unless they're giving up on rioting as their tactic. But
I think the rioting thing it's looked down upon. It's frowned upon now. I think people are tired of that. I think people are tired of sons. But I think if you were to riot, I don't think you would be able to do it for a whole summer. I think you could probably get away with it for a night and then maybe the next day. But people are not. Police departments are not hamstrung like they were 4 years ago. They got a little bit of their power back. I don't know, but one thing about it is I wasn't expecting this Karmelo Metcalf Karmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf case to get like that. And that could just be the little smoke. That could be the smoke before the fire. It's always some black people are always looking to be the victim. We'll always be looking to be victimized. And sons always resisting arrest or, getting into it with white people. And so eventually one of those interactions can go bad. And depending on how it is, we'll see, man. But I'm betting against the summer love. I'm betting against that. I don't know. For some reason, I just don't think that's the country's there right now. Let's see St. Louis, man, a city that always is a bastion of black crime. They always have a wellspring of black crime.
New at 9, a story that's grabbed national headlines. Police say 6 people that were a part of an online cult in St. Louis County vanished without a trace. And now, nearly 2 years later, investigators are still searching for answers.
Well, Fox 2's Max Deeknight has been following this story for more than a year now. And Max, you talked with police and you also talked to the mother in this case.
Yeah, Mandy, Shirley, we did really troubling stuff. And they said that these seemingly harmless online cults that you hear about, they're actually very dangerous. And they have a warning tonight for parents that are watching.
In August of 2023, 6 people, including then 25-year-old Michaela Wickerson and her 3-year-old daughter, Malaya, went missing from her Berkeley home and vanished without a trace. The 4 adults involved were part of an online cult called the University of Cosmic Intelligence, a movement with thousands of followers led by self-proclaimed prophet Rashad Jamal. Jamal is...
These are Hoteps.
Rashad Jamal.
The Hotep cult.
Wow.
Price of
prophet. He's a prophet. Yo, salute to him. He got thousands of followers. You know he has to fuck all the girls. You know how that works. Like,
he must have been reading a couple Jim Jones books and stuff.
Yeah, he all of them are like that. They all got to sleep with all the women. All the beautiful women in the congregation, they got to sleep with him. He'll be getting arrested soon for like murder or trafficking or some shit dealing with abusing his congregation.
He's currently serving an 18-year prison
sentence.
sentence.
So he's already in prison. He's already in prison serving time. Okay.
Prophet Rashad Jamal. Jamal is currently serving an 18-year prison sentence in Georgia for child molestation.
It's just a hard pill to swallow. That one day you can see them and talk to your family, and then the next day you don't.
Wickerson's mother, Cartisha Morgan, tells us she thinks her daughter was struggling with mental health. An outgoing, loving young woman, she says the group convinced her to quit her job, cut out her family, and eventually go off the map.
She loved being around her family, her friends. And for her to do something like this is just, it's hurtful.
Major Steve Runge with Berkeley PD has been investigating this case from the start. He says this group is tied to a variety of crimes, including human trafficking.
That we're very concerned. So our top priority is finding the kids. I mean, these people can worship toasters for all I care, but the kids are a different story.
Runge says online cults like this one often target young women going through difficult times.
The biggest lesson is parents pay attention to what your kids are watching online.
They do not want to end up where I'm standing right now, just crying out for help.
And Michaela and her daughter's disappearance will be featured in the debut episode of America's Most Wanted Missing Persons. That will air right here on Fox 2 Monday at 6.
Wow.
The Prophet Jamal kidnapped
them. A glider detective. I knew a glider detective had to solve this because that's tough.
Oh man, let's see what else is going on here in St. Louis.
The Moline Acres Police Department needs your help tonight locating 42-year-old Randy Bernard Wilson Jr. He's 6
Look at
foot
that
7
head.
inches tall and was
Scalp.
last seen wearing a blue jacket, gray sweatpants, gray t-shirt, and black and yellow tennis shoes. He was last seen leaving his home in the 2200 block of Lovett Drive in Moline Acres.
Well, he's nonverbal. He's missing. Okay. He's 6'7". You can't miss him. Hopefully they find that missing guy, man. Yeah,
Probably be playing some street ball or something.
yeah, man. Getting taken advantage of and shit. Let's see. St. Louis looks to be a little bit. Let's see this.
Joining us for Fox 2 News at 5, I'm Mandy Murphy.
And I'm Shirley Washington. First on Fox, the major K squad is activated after a deadly shooting.
It happened in a close-knit community of Beverly Hills near Natural Bridge Road in St. Louis County. Fox 2's Kelly Hoskins joins us live. Kelly, you spoke with the man's family and you have the latest on this investigation.
Well, Mandy, that's absolutely correct. We're here outside of the North County Cooperative Police Headquarters where detectives have been working around the clock on this case, trying to piece together exactly what happened. And right now, detectives have more questions than answers. Detectives say the tragedy all unfolded around 3 Wednesday morning when the North County Police Cooperative responded to a call in the 6900 block of Greenway Avenue in Beverly Hills, Missouri, when officers arrived on scene to find a man lying in the street, shot to death.
It's a bad tragedy when something like this happens, especially in our community, and it's all over the world. It's not just in St. Louis City. Scott was a very good person, loving. He always cracked jokes.
Really?
He can come and lighten up your day whenever you was down and out.
Police have identified the victim as 32-year-old Daryl Scott, and family members say Scott was allegedly shot inside of his home by the suspect and then ran outside seeking help.
And what we're really hoping is that anybody in the community there can call us with any tips, information, anything they may have seen or heard, video footage that could be of help in this investigation, because we're really looking for some justice for the family and justice for the victim.
Loved ones gathered at the scene in disbelief. They say Scott was a beloved part of the neighborhood and will be missed.
He's always laughing and had a smile on his face, and he's a very handsome, intelligent young man. He always kept a job. I'm praying that they catch the person that's responsible for this.
The major case squad of Greater St. Louis is now investigating, and 22 detectives are working alongside the North County Police Cooperative to find out who pulled the trigger and why. Now, at this hour, police are still searching for the suspect, and they're encouraging anyone with information about the case to contact Crime Stoppers. You will remain anonymous and possibly receive a reward. Reporting in Veneta Park, Kelly Hoskins, Fox 2 News.
That woman said this happens all over the place. It's devastating. Talking about the murder.
2 suspects are now facing charges.
Still living there.
A night that changed so many lives.
My client was there. There was a fight, but he had no involvement.
2 men killed, 2 men charged, and a second-year University of Cincinnati law student who unraveled the truth.
She was his champion from the beginning.
Gunshots rang out outside the Rustic Tavern Bar in Cincinnati on September 23, 2018, shortly after 1 a.m. 28-year-old Stephen Anderson Jr. and 29-year-old Nathaniel Davis were pronounced dead at the scene. A month later, 2 men were charged.
The basis of the charges against Maurice were basically eyewitness testimony.
30-year-old Jonathan Patton was accused of handing 28-year-old Maurice Searcy a gun, who prosecutors say then pulled the trigger. Both were charged with murder because Ohio law holds accomplices just as responsible as the actual killer. Patton was tried first. He was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Searcy was headed to trial next.
I didn't really know much about the case.
Angela Landa was in her second year of law school when she began clerking for Cincinnati defense attorney Bill Gallagher. He let her help his colleague Jay Clark prepare for Searcy's trial.
Nothing tied into it. No hair, no fiber, no fingerprints, nothing.
Within 3 hours of deliberation, the jury had a verdict, not guilty. That moment of relief didn't last long for Landa.
So it broke my heart because I knew that he had already been convicted.
Patton was out of appeals, but that didn't stop Landa from combing through every inch of his case.
I think I started just downloading the body-worn camera. As I was watching it, I noticed there was like surveillance from the bar.
Landa says surveillance shows Searcy and Patton in front of the bar when shots ring out. It then shows them take off while the shooter goes behind the bar firing again.
Like, I didn't expect it to be so clear. I guess that they didn't do this.
She says that proves Searcy and Patton were innocent. Landa kept digging, and according to a motion filed by the defense attorneys, the detective on the case withheld evidence, including information that could help clear Patton. It also included a full list of suspects. One of those suspects, who witnesses identified to police as a shooter, was facing murder charges in Alabama.
One, you're sort of elated that you found something that will help somebody. Two, you're really sort of disappointed that what occurred was a trial that wasn't fair.
The attorneys filed a motion for a new trial.
Having somebody's freedom on is your responsibility. It can kind of weigh on you.
While awaiting a decision about a new trial, the prosecution offered Patton an Alford plea, a guilty plea in which a defendant maintains their innocence.
They offered him a deal where it results in him being released immediately, but he has to plead guilty to something. They call it a dark plea because what kind of choice is that?
It was one of the hardest decisions of my life. I really sat and I almost cried about it.
But Patton accepted. We spoke with him just days after he was released.
What's the first thing you do when you get released?
Go see my kids. I seen my mom. She was there first, but then after that, I just went to go see my babies.
Once released, Patton got to hug his 6-year-old son for the first time. Patton says he never lost hope that day would come.
In my mind and my heart, I knew what really happened that night, so I always knew I was coming home.
The weight unbearable, but Patton says he's choosing to move forward in life and in forgiveness.
I definitely appreciate every day. I'm not bitter or angry.
Claims he was at the scene of the crime but had nothing to do with it.
The years he spent behind bars, the time that he's lost from his family, the fact that he does have a conviction still is like, it's hard.
While Patton and his family move forward, another family left with a wound that's been reopened.
Where's the real killer? And so the real disservice is to the victims because no one should have to bury their son.
No one has since been charged with the murders, but defense attorneys believe there's enough evidence pointing to the real killer.
I think there's enough circumstantial evidence to prove it that he's guilty beyond proof beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm convinced there is.
Landa is now serving as trial counsel in the Hamilton County Public Defender's Office, fighting every day for people like Patton.
I'm happy that he's out, but like, it's hard that like, I feel like it's still not resolved in the way it should have been.
His case still sticks with her, and the lives changed forever 6 years ago.
I feel bad for the victims and their families, but it's hard to define what justice is, and I just don't think there's any in this case.
Wow, sons, boy. That woman is trying to. So now she's like looking through all these files, trying to see which son she can free up and shit. Salute to sons, man, for having gliders, for being able to get people on your side like that, man. Sons are amazing, man. How they can get somebody to just do stuff for them and shit, and just fall for the victim bullshit. Salute to Gouch Below says censor is too strong for me tonight. Oh wow, that's too bad, man. YouTube turning up on your comments. Shout out to Eric S. He says, I definitely come up and tell you more details of the trip and my new adventures in intercontinental traveling, ribeye, and New York strips waiting. Yeah, come up next time and tell us about the trip to Europe, man. We need a first-hand from American to tell us how it is over there. If everything we hearing about is true or overblown. What's up, Pantheon?
Good morning. I wasn't even going to come up because I was having fun in the chat, but you were
Mm-hmm.
sleeping too much for me. I was like, no, and everyone else was keeping quiet, so you got to wake him up. But I did reply to Eric.
Several local Richmond businesses are banning
chat, and I did ask him if he thought Desert Demons and all the ethnics had overrun France and Holland. So yeah, it'd be interesting, Eric, to hear that and your opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too many Desert Demons over there. But yeah, like we'll see if they affect you tourists, because a lot of times when tourist places and the cities and countries can kind of like hide their issues from tourists. Like you go to Jamaica, you go to Montego Bay, you know what I mean, or you go to like Club Med or something.
Yeah, but the thing is that they've now all infiltrated the tourist areas. So all the hidden, the underbelly of all.
Yeah, I think I know what you was gonna say though, but yeah, salute everybody. Make sure you support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. We going into hour 3, man. Let's go, man.
Several local Richmond businesses are banning some middle school students from entering their stores before, during, and after school hours. This after recent reports of shoplifting and disruptive behavior. 8 News reporter Jamal Williams spoke with workers from one of the stores affected and joins us live in Richmond. Jamal, what did they have to say?
Well, Eric, I'm here outside Family Dollar where employees say this is a problem that has persisted since last year.
I don't want to stop them from coming. I just want them to know how to behave in the store.
Several cases of shoplifting and loitering from River City Middle School students are causing businesses like Family Dollar to take action. On Tuesday, school officials sent out a statement saying students are not allowed to come into stores alone before, during, and after school. Employee Letitia.
So now all students, whites, Asians, Indian students, none of them can come into the store at certain times, when we know that it's only the black kids that are probably disrupting behavior and stealing. And this is something we see every summer. Every summer, the curfews at the malls, at the movie theater, it's all about the ramp up. So all that stuff, all those preventative measures to for black teens are about to ramp up and affect everyone's lives.
Sanchez says
They come in as a crowd, being very disrespectful. One, like I said, stealing and running out and just causing a lot of problems. A lot of elders that come in there that do not have to be involved with all that nonsense that they have going on.
The staff there says groups of 5 or more students come inside stealing items like Hot Wheels and alcohol, and there aren't enough workers to stop them. While school officials ask parents to encourage their children to respect the new restrictions, Sanchez says
the fact that they sell alcohol at Family Dollar, that's a Virginia thing. Wow, that's crazy. Virginia doesn't have liquor stores. They don't have liquor stores. They have ABC wine.
Yeah, we don't.
So,
yeah, we don't even sell that at Family Dollars in Jersey. Not alcohol.
They probably sell beer in there. Probably
invoke harsher punishments.
Because the school should have a better hold on what's going on. The kids supposed to be in the school. They should know that them kids are coming out and stuff. While y'all have a better hold of what's going on over there, start with them.
Now, it's still a mystery how or why students were going to these stores during school hours, and RPS tells us that their discipline only extends in their school doors, but are working with the community to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
You know, the funny thing is, she know who it is, but she ain't gonna say nothing.
Who, the lady?
Yeah.
I think in Richmond it goes without saying. Like it's just like it's a kind of like a chocolate city a little bit. If somebody doing something fucked up, it's a black person with some black kids. Oh yeah, let me go to this Philly, this Temple story. Let me get to this before I forget. Um, mm, mm.
That's an odd couple.
I wasn't really expecting to experience that, and I just was really kind of disappointed to see it.
Over the weekend, crowds of teenagers flooded campus, prompting 7 assaults and 1 robbery. 4 of the victims were
It's lit.
7 assaults and 1 robbery, and all the people that got assaulted just happened to be white. That's hard to that's hard to do it's in Philadelphia for a mob of black kids to go around and to only assault white people. They have to be looking for white people. You'd have to make that connection, right?
Yeah.
In a chocolate city like that, Philadelphia, a mob of black kids go around and they only happen to kick the shit out of white people.
Again, crowds of teenagers flooded campus, prompting 7 assaults and 1 robbery. 4 of the victims were Temple students.
The children are out of control.
The crowd started here at Morgan Hall and spanned down Cecil B. Moore to right here at Temple Towers and Vantage.
The robbery took place just outside of Temple Towers. Resident Lalage Johnson witnessed the aftermath.
I came downstairs and I saw him in the lobby. He was bleeding. He was surrounded by paramedics.
Kayla Allman was picking up food when she saw a fight between a police officer and a teen.
You don't know, so everybody had like a weapon besides like a baton or their fist. So it was very nerve-wracking.
And students like Michaela Makanda are worried about the safety of everyone on campus.
Is it going to happen to me, especially with women who are like alone?
Vice President of Public Safety Jennifer Griffin says arrests were made and incidents like this are unacceptable. Police Captain James Hennigan says TUPD is working on increasing police presence on campus as many Philadelphia schools are on spring break.
We have officers out on the street 24/7, and they'll respond as quickly as possible.
Spring break.
Just going to pick on some college kids. That's normal teen behavior.
Yeah, kick the shit out of
I have a
them,
link
bro,
in the
dude.
back chat.
Okay.
Sorry, my internet's playing up. I think I have a delay.
Okay, so
Now at 10, Temple University students assaulted after groups of teenagers began causing mayhem around campus, leading police to disperse the crowds. This is the 10 o'clock news. I'm Jennifer Lee. Temple University's Department of Public Safety says this week is spring break for local K through 12 students. And given past events, additional teams of police officers were deployed from Temple and Philadelphia police. They say arrests were made as the crowd became unruly, but police are still looking for the ones involved in the student attacks. Joanne Pileggi live for us tonight. And Joanne,
okay, let's see online if we can find. Salute to Rundaz, man, in the building, man. Shout out to you. He said, will sons ever stop being retarded? No, never. We're never gonna change. So here goes. They're looking for these kids, man. Let's see. All right, him. Oh yeah, you're cooked. You're done. This one right here, yeah. Let's see if we can find. Let's see if we can identify him. Looks like a very young kid. He looks very young. This one, yeah, you're cooked. Should be a come on, Philadelphia. Turn these people in for beating the shit out of white people in public. I know the whole city's incensed, you know. One of the black communities is torn up about that. And they're working to find these people and turn them in. It's just like, you know.
Do you think maybe they were emboldened by the Karmelo Anthony case?
Nah, this is every year during this time, spring break, black kids start tearing up shit, and this ain't got nothing to do with it. This is just normal son shit. Look right here, look right here. I'm beating the shit out of this. You watch the kid. You gonna see him come out. Hold on, where's he at? Right there. There he is, right there. He finally made it out of the crowd.
Don't turn your back to sons.
Yeah, looked like somebody helped him. Looked like this guy came and helped him out. The guy in the black. Shout out to the guy in the black. Looked like he came out and helped him out. Helped get him to safety. Oh wow, there. Let's see. We're gonna start hearing about shit like this all over the fucking place, man. Everywhere, man. Malls. That's what they do. They destroy things, man. They destroy things. You give them a little break. School is so important. This highlights how important school is. You know what I mean? For tamping down son crime. School is very important. It's one of the biggest tools we have for fighting son crime. You know, one of the biggest tools we have. It gives them
Imagine
a
what the
place to
teacher
be.
deals with.
Yeah, definitely. It gives them a place to be. Oh wow. Let me see. She wants me to play this. I'll play that a little later, man, because I got a burst of energy. That's gonna make me tired right now. I don't want to get tired of watching that thing right now. I just got a burst of energy, man.
We gotta
Terrifying scene
Gotta
in a Montgomery County parking lot.
pick up the energy in here. Keep Ak awake.
Yeah,
Gotta
man.
pick up the energy in here to keep Ak awake.
The bad singing.
Yeah, man. I had a burst of energy, man. I got finally I guess a little like quasi nap I took. I don't know. I don't even be knowing I be asleep. That's the thing about it. Like I be listening. I can hear when I'm asleep. That's just the craziest thing about it.
A terrifying scene in a Montgomery County parking lot where a woman was viciously attacked by a suspect wearing gloves and a ski mask. The motive for the attack is still a mystery, and a neighbor was just horrified to watch the brutal beating unfold on his doorbell camera.
We do need to warn you here that the video is disturbing and really hard to watch. Our Steve Keeley is live in Hatfield. And Steve, you spoke with that neighbor who called police.
And he also gave police the best possible evidence, clear color surveillance showing everything that happened. This female tenant was screaming as she was attacked here at the Hatfield Village apartments.
That's a white woman.
About like 4.
That's a white woman's scream. That wasn't no sister scream. That was a white woman's scream. What do you think?
Oh yeah, that's a guy.
Yeah.
Yes. But I mean, all women will go high pitched at some point. But that is a glider woman, I would say.
This female tenant was screaming as she was attacked here at the Hatfield Village apartments.
It was about like 4:30 a.m. this morning when I heard like a blood-curdling scream.
It was right outside Chris Stevens' apartment.
It happened so fast. I think in a matter, it was probably about 20 seconds.
Enough time for the attacker to repeatedly.
Damn, look at him on top of her, repeatedly punching. Look at him rearing back. Look at him rearing back. Oh, shout out to Amazing Disgrace. He said money improves energy. Yeah, support the channel, man. To improve my energy, man. Everybody, man, support the channel. That improves my energy, man. It keeps me awake, man. You have to keep Keep looking out for the super chats, man. I have to keep salute the Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, aka the real MVP, coming through once again.
Punch and kicked the young woman as she left for work this morning. The attacker was hiding and waiting for her to come out, Chris Stevens believes, after watching the video recorded by his Ring camera in his window.
On the video, it showed a guy dressed all in black with a black ski mask. It seemed like he hid next to the door. On the video, it looked for about 10 minutes, and then he proceeded to wait for her to come outside, it looked like, and then he jumped on her and started kicking her and punching her. It was awful.
What do you think seeing that video?
I'm actually kind of scared.
Hatfield Village notified its tenants in this email this afternoon, telling them, quote, the matter is currently under investigation by the Hatfield Township Police. The police chief, William Tierney, says, quote, this does appear to be targeted, but we are looking at all possibilities.
It's frightening to find out about something like this. So I'm not comfortable living here. Typically, I have some kind of box cutter or something on me. I work in a restaurant as a kitchen manager, and I'm not afraid to defend myself. So I would have.
Woman, all that's gonna do is make him mad. You need mace or something like that. A box
I
cutter.
was going to say if he gets his hand on the box cutter, you're done for. I think
woman needs a gun.
Spray of some kind.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
A gun. Yeah, I mean a gun, but here's the thing: a gun is not a type of woman. It's not a woman weapon. Like women are not wired for guns. From what I've noticed, they're not wired for that.
They'll get shaky trying to take it out the holster.
Well, yeah, especially in these. Maybe a woman is wired for a gun in a home, where to protect the home. But when she's walking down the street, women usually carry things like a gun in her purse, right? So you're fumbling and trying to get in your purse while some dude's like Mike Tyson punch out, socking you in your fucking jaw. And it's like, no, that's not going to work. You need.
I always carry perfume or body spray on me, and then my house keys have like a wrist lanyard. So I guess you could put that around your wrist and jab the key into their eyeball.
You need mace on your keychain. So when you're walking down the street with your keychain, it's right there in your hand already. The mace is already in your hand. You know what I mean? On your key ring, or you need a piece of mace on your key ring. You know what I'm saying? Or women do not respond well after being punched in the face. They just don't. They curl up. They're not made for fighting men. You know what I mean? Now, maybe a woman get attacked by another woman. A lot of women aren't built for being attacked by other women. But some guy who's out on the prowl, who's been to prison several times, who's a demon seed, who's looking to get a quick score, who's done this dozens of times before, and he pounces on some woman and just starts punching her. This chick is not equipped for that, with no gun, with no knife or nothing. The best thing for her to have is some mace. So if she sees him coming, she can just spray him. Or he's on her, she can just spray the mace, and the mace will hold him back. A gun, she's not going to get to it. A box cutter, she's not going to swing it right. She's going to be more concerned with covering up. Mace, all you got to do is squeeze the little button.
What about taser?
Or try and kick him in the balls. Kicking
the balls don't work either, because here's the thing. Here's the thing with kicking in the balls. Somebody's just jumped out of the fucking darkness and pounced on you. You're immediately in defense mode. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a guy, when we see a mouse or a rat just scurry across the room, dude might jump on the couch. It's natural. You can't help it. You can't school yourself or teach yourself out of hopping on the couch when a rat runs from out of the corner across the room. It's just a natural thing. Like a woman, when a man jumps out the darkness and socks her in her chin, she can't not curl up and try to protect her vital organ. You know what I mean? In her face. You know what I mean? She can't not. It's just natural. Whereas a man might step back and, get his shit together and try to, woman just gonna curl up. Go ahead.
What about a taser? Would that work?
The hell no. Taser's not gonna work at all. Salute to, not at all. I said the only thing that work is a biological weapon. Something that can affect the sensory. See, the thing about the taser, you have to tase him. The thing about mace is you can spray it. You can also get maced too, but he gonna get maced as well. He's gonna be coughing and he's gonna be rubbing his eyes and he's gonna be trying to get away from the center of wherever that biological weapon is. He's going to try to get away from where that's at. If you're a woman and you get clubbed upside the head out of nowhere and you fall down and you got your little mace on your keychain and some dude jumps on top of you and he's wrestling with you, you just spray the shit. He's got to get away from that now. You know what I mean? He has to get away from that. He has to find a way to get away from that. And that gives you time to scream or run or something like that. But fiddling with a taser and trying to touch him and all this shit, I don't know if that'll work with a woman. I don't know if that works with a woman. I don't know if a woman is wired, if a woman knows how to use that in the heat of that battle, that weapon like that in the heat of the battle.
All I know is that once you start flagging, if you don't get that burst of energy again, then that's when the man can get you.
Look at her; she's screaming. If you can see at the very bottom of the screen when she comes out the door,
this female
jumps. He like jump kicked her from behind. Watch right here.
This female tenant was screaming.
There's nothing. Yeah, come on, man. She not gonna take that kick to the back and then just turn around like, oh man, where's my switchblades?
No, back of her head to his nose. you could tell I haven't been in a fight in my life, so
yeah. Women, listen, women aren't good at fighting these types of guys. Maybe certain guys, maybe their boyfriend or something, but not these type of guys that don't give two shits about them. No.
I'm not comfortable living here. Typically, I have some kind of box cutter or something on me. I work in a restaurant as a kitchen manager, and I'm not afraid to defend myself. So I would have probably used a box cutter on him.
I'm normally awake at that time. This morning, I actually slept
They
in,
always
and
say
I
that.
normally see her when I go to leave to go to work in the morning. So I feel really bad about not being able to be there. It's just tragic. I just really worry about her, and I hope she's doing okay.
Chris Stevens, the kind of neighbor we all wish to have. His camera caught the crime and is caring for
What a
his neighbor
psycho.
attacked. And that video now alerting all his neighbors here to be on the lookout and to be aware. Jason, Sheba.
And as far as you know, Steve, no one
Like,
else
he's gonna kill
was
someone
attacked
next.
or injured in that neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is the first kind of thing here. They don't have car break-ins. They might have had a package stolen once, but this place is picturesque and a perfect setting. We saw kids playing out here today, so they're not.
Oh, there's not a lot of blacks.
Tarrant County Sheriff.
There's not a lot of blacks around that area. But yeah, they're not used to that. Yeah, so.
The Tarrant County Sheriff's Office is searching for a man accused of opening fire inside of a smoke shop. Surveillance footage shows the moments that man shot into the ceiling while demanding cash. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager is live tonight with more on that crazy video and who cops are looking for. Peyton?
Smash.
Casey, the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office put that call out to the public today. Investigators believe the same suspect hit the same smoke shop twice in less than a week. Both times he got away with cash. Take a look.
White
An
guy.
Azle smoke shop clerk closing for the night at 1 a.m. April 18th, startled when an armed suspect in a hood walks in. The clerk held at gunpoint and told to hand over money. The armed suspect fires a few times towards the wall, and then as the clerk is placing bills on the counter, he shoots one round right at the camera up in the corner. The Tarrant County Sheriff's Office says the suspect went to the back room to look for more cash before he took off. Since the Friday robbery, Top Smoke off FM 730 has been closed, according to nearby businesses. Some of those businesses have pictures of the suspect on their doors, hoping he's caught. Investigators tell Fox 4 Top Smoke Shop has been robbed twice in less than a week by who they believe.
It's a white dude. Look at that nose. That pointy ass nose.
Believed to be the same suspect.
Weaker.
This daytime surveillance video is from a bar next door. On April 12th at 10 a.m., a man in dark-colored clothing grabs a gun out of his backpack and robs the smoke shop. A few minutes later, the suspect leaves with cash, according to deputies.
The robbery was successful the first time. He just did not indicate the amount of violence that he did with the weapon the second time.
With the concern the suspect is escalating in violence, the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office is now asking the public to help identify this man.
We believe he's dangerous. There are a couple of...
Okay, maybe he's on Burrito. Because he has that kind of like,
that look and that mustache.
Yeah, that look, that like different kind of, yeah. Or maybe he could be
Mongoloid look.
Yeah, I mean this is more like of a Puerto Rican type hombrito or goddamn Dominican type hombrito, but this is Texas. Maybe he's he's some kind of swarthiness.
That's Luis Gomez.
video sections where you can get a clear view of his face. We believe
might even be a mulatto son.
that somebody knows who he is.
Investigators also tell me, Casey, both times the suspect came and left on foot. So investigators believe there's a high chance he lives in that area in Azle. If you know anything, you're asked to contact the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office. Casey?
Yes, hopefully.
Oakland police arrested 4 people after a crime spree all across that city this morning.
And the group targeted gas stations and convenience stores. But despite that, the police chief there says crime for the first 3 months of this year is down. Crown 4's Gail Ong reports.
From a 7-Eleven, AM, PM, and a Shell gas station, these are just some of the businesses across Oakland that were hit by thieves early Thursday morning.
The crime spree began shortly before 5 a.m., where the suspects used a vehicle to ram the front doors of the business before going inside and burglarizing.
Assistant Police Chief James Beer with the Oakland Police Department adds the suspects targeted at least 6 gas stations and convenience stores in just under 2 hours. In one case, approaching one of the victims.
Fearing for her life, the clerk locked herself in an adjoining room, and the suspects forced entry there.
The group went on to commit more thefts, but their spree ended here on Wood Street.
4 suspects were arrested, 3 male adults and 1 female adult. We'll work with the district attorney's office to determine the appropriate charges, but they range from home invasion, robbery, and burglary at this time.
OPD crediting the arrest to a special resource section using technology and witness accounts. Meantime, Police Chief Floyd Mitchell says these types of crimes are overall down in Oakland for the first 3 months of 2025.
Robberies are down 44%, from 952 to 530 incidents in 2025. Regarding property crimes, our burglaries are down 33% for the same time period last year.
Critics say these statistics don't tell the whole story, but Chief Mitchell stresses the importance of reporting crimes when they happen.
I understand that if you've been a victim of a crime, it may not feel like crime is going down, but please know that our officers are deeply committed to investigating and solving your cases each and every day.
Back to the gas station investigations, there are more open cases. Just last month, gas stations in the Montclair and Rockridge neighborhoods were burglarized in similar fashion. This gas station on Broadway and Taft Avenue has since installed these barriers to prevent people from driving through. OPD says there is another group also targeting gas stations in Oakland and other parts of the Bay Area. Investigators are looking into these past crimes to see if there is a connection.
We're going to track you down. We're going to arrest you. We're going to recover the video. We're going to get the evidence. And now we're working with the district attorney's office, and people will be held accountable.
Reporting in Oakland, Gail Ong, Cron 4 News.
Salute to Aster J, man. He says, Tim Pool at the White House press room and got to ask a question. Maybe our nation will get an invite. Keep those fingers crossed. Nah, man.
Salute.
Oh, go there, man. I ain't with that shit, man. I don't want to ask him nothing, man. Just let Trump do what he do, man. Let Trump.
You don't want to be an Uncle Tom in the White House?
Yeah, I
Just
do.
begging the massa for scraps.
I just want to enjoy the ambiance. I'm not really pressed about asking no questions at the press briefing, but I would go to just chill with Trump, eat some McDonald's and shit, something like that. But yeah.
Word.
Shout out to Tim Pool though. He made it to the White House, man. Let's see what else is going on. What else is going on?
There was a series of racist incidents.
Where?
Up.
Oh, wow.
Now to parents concerned for their son's safety after several disturbing incidents on the St. Mary's College campus in Moraga.
They believe their son is being targeted, and the school isn't doing enough to address tensions.
Are they sons?
They spoke exclusively with ABC 7 News anchor and race and social justice reporter Julian Glover, who is here with us with the story, Julian.
You know, guys, this is the thing that any parent would really fear, having their students go through. The Oakland family telling me these incidents have escalated, first name calling, then racial slurs. Now St. Mary's College of California and Moraga PD now confirmed to me they are investigating
These are
multiple
college
incidents
kids?
as hate crimes. Here's what the family I spoke to wants to see happen next. Oakland residents Tia Honeycutt and James Brickley said they felt good about sending their son to St. Mary's College of California in Moraga last fall. But by spring semester, they noticed something was off.
He wanted to come home more often. You know, he would say, pick me up on Thursday.
Soon, their son David, a freshman, would text them in fear from his dorm room. He told them a handful of students were shouting curse words, including the N-word outside of his room. He believes he was targeted because he's black. He recorded part of it on video and shared it with ABC 7 News.
Let's imagine for a moment, or any parent, that it's your child, and they're behind this door, hearing kill the N-word, kill the N-word. You can for a moment imagine, how he felt, his fear.
David, who does not want to be shown on camera out of fear of retaliation, said he reported the incident to his resident assistant.
It was kind of very disheartening, and I was like promised that things were going to change or things that were going to happen, and just nothing happened.
So I just find it very hard on the campus of St. Mary's in California that like he's the only black, like some mulatto guy is like getting treated like that. Like there's no, this is California, right? Where's the climate for that at a college, at a private college, a very liberal college? This is a very liberal place. This is not a conservative place.
Not liberal like California, but it's hard to believe. I think they were just fucking with him, and he took it serious.
Let's see.
Shown on camera out of fear of retaliation.
He's
He
lying.
reported the incident to his resident assistant
recorded.
and campus advisors.
So it was kind of very disheartening, and I was like promised that things were going to change or things that were going to happen, and just nothing happened.
Weeks later, David told me that's when things escalated. He took this image of the door to the communal bathroom in his dorm.
Kill.
Someone carved "kill" N-words in the door. we have blurred that racial slur.
I remember I was rushing to get to my computer science class, and I was just using a restroom, and I look up on the
This is a
wall
white
next to
kid.
me, and it's just there it is, like clear as day, written on the wall.
What was going through your mind when, as you said, you were
It's a
running
sun
late for
glider.
your computer science class, you go into the bathroom, and then you see that?
Honestly, I think it was almost surreal for me.
Days later, another incident on campus prompting the university to send out this alert obtained by ABC7 News, warning of a hate crime involving property damage, threatening language, and racial slurs written into restrooms. Moraga PD confirms it is investigating these incidents as hate crimes.
That was kind of the final straw as far as us sitting down and having a family meeting. And that's what, was an instigation to go in and talk to the president of the school.
They tell me in that meeting, University President Roger Thompson expressed concern, but not the solutions they wanted to hear.
He said to us that we should think about moving David out of the school. That was his solution to having a
Not out of the
toxic-
dorm, out of the school.
Out of the school.
Move to a different school.
Right.
That's what he said.
So that was his response to a toxic culture, was to have David leave and let the toxic culture persist.
The university provided me a statement confirming the incident and said it conducted mandatory resident hall meetings with staff, leadership, and students, offered resources to support students, added additional patrols, and raised awareness of bias response and reporting mechanisms. I read that full statement to Tia and James.
I think that's a beautiful, very lawyerly statement that they have crafted, but I heard nothing in there as far as concrete steps that they were taking.
Why does it take us getting in touch with you, Julian? Why did we have to go to ABC News and report these hate crimes on that campus and heard nothing?
In a follow-up statement, a university
No
spokesperson
one
said the
cares.
president expressed
Ah,
understanding
hold on.
should the parents wish for their student to transfer to a new school. The president also offered to have David move dorms. He declined.
Why aren't the perpetrators in these crimes, the ones that are kicked out of school, and make the a safer
They're
and
paying
happier environment for
$50,000 a
everybody?
year.
David tells me these hate crimes have affected his mental health.
I find myself being at home and indoors more and more because I just don't feel safe on campus, honestly.
His parents are demanding additional action.
There should be a zero tolerance policy for racism.
a
There should
woman.
be mandatory anti-bias training, and there should be support and protection for the victims.
David tells me he does not plan on leaving the university. His parents tell me they're just frustrated that the university administration had stopped responding to their emails, their calls for several weeks. Well, in just the last 30 minutes, I received word the university has reached back out to the parents, reassuring them that St. Mary's is taking this
Yes.
seriously. No one to date has been charged or arrested for any of these incidents. And of course, you can understand the parents just want to.
That's a good school, though. That's not a good look. That's not a good look on their part.
Well, good morning. My name is Brother Christopher Brady, and we are in the front parking lot at St. Mary's College. And one of my roles is greeting the parents and students as they show up for their first time on a college campus as a student. Having the parents relax, having the parents feel that we are taking charge with them of their daughter or their son, and we're about their success here at St. Mary's. It doesn't get better than this. This and graduation are the two highlights of my experience every year.
Whoa.
WOWI stands for Weekend of Welcome. A lot of WOWIs here are, trying to paint it back forward, and the WOW experience is super impactful for the SMC community.
Adding to the idea of oh my gosh, welcome to campus. It's your first week here, and we're here to welcome you, and we're a big family here.
It was actually pretty amazing with the greet and meet, the energy makes us want.
This got me feeling like Shannon Sharp out this motherfucker.
And fuzzy. And then as we pulled up to Midi Hall, I was thinking, okay, we gotta move now. And as soon as we pulled up, they're like, don't touch anything. We got everything. I'm like, seriously? feel like I want to tip them. But at the end of the day, they did a
We good.
amazing
We at a
job.
good age, Hop.
Everyone's so friendly here, just 10 plus. All
Don't
over.
judge us, chat.
Get out there and experience everything that St. Mary's has to offer. That's why you came. So be a sponge. Soak it all in.
These last 4 years have flown by for me, and please just don't be afraid to reach out to your neighbor, your RA, your friends in your classes. Reach out for help, because this is just a once in a lifetime experience. We're so glad to have you here. Welcome home, Gail.
Nigger. Where's that nigger? Hold on. Didn't we just see a niggers right there?
Rewind that nigger.
Where's that nigger? Yeah, nigger. You fucking nigger. Like, you just.
You're not welcome here.
Something about that story just don't seem like that type of place, man. I'm sorry, man. It just doesn't. It just doesn't feel like that, man.
You go with the Hope?
Yeah.
They're always a hoax.
Huh?
They're always a hoax.
Yeah.
Another.
When I was in high school, I visited St. Mary's, and it was an incredible experience. Surreal is the only way that I could describe it now. When I walked onto campus, the immediate thing I saw was the chapel, the trees, the foliage, the deer that were just running across Chapel Lawn. And I remember being kind of taken aback about how beautiful this campus was. And as we were walking around on the tour as a part of Fall Preview Day, I could really see myself in every aspect of the student life here. My name is Jared Roletta. I am a fourth-year physics major here at St. Mary's.
So being an international student, you're setting the standard for yourself. And so St. Mary's was really a place that allowed me to be comfortable being in an environment that I felt also.
Yeah, he ain't even light skinned, so he all nigger.
Yeah, he's probably dead now, man.
He definitely found a noose
in
somewhere.
an environment that I felt also wanted to hear.
They got him right by the tree. This is symbolism, man. You think they slick, man? Yeah, stand by that tree. Yeah, over to the left, right there. Now go ahead. Say what you want to say.
What I have to say. My name is Oluwatobi Babsajayi. I go by Toby for short.
Oh, and he's from the motherland. Oh shit!
Yeah. So you know he's smart.
It's a pure blood one, man. Yeah, this is one of the ones we saw last night. What planet are we on right now?
He's a prince.
How many continents is in Africa? 7.
Look at the stereotype. Finance major.
Studying finance and minoring in data science.
Some of the most memorable experiences that I've had at St. Mary's start with Paint the SMC, the Gonzaga game when they were ranked #1.
Like, oh my goodness. Just the energy of seeing Gales around you yelling.
Yo, he in heaven, you see him?
My name is Linnea Landers-Daniels. I am from Antioch, California, and I am a theater major. Weekend of Welcome, I brag about that to all of my friends at other schools. Like, you don't have a weekend like mine.
Is this a Catholic
and
school?
It allowed me to get to know a lot.
I think so.
Is it Christian or Catholic?
Yeah, I think I don't know.
Catholic.
Okay.
The people in my year, and I met some of my best friends there. What I've learned is that to really gain as much as you can from college is to make connections and to figure out what you like, what works for you, and what you want to do with life. And this is a great place to build those things. And so really trying everything and like getting to meet people and going out and exploring things helps you develop so much as a person and really understand yourself.
Club sports give you an opportunity to compete, express yourself, and create a bond with your brothers and sisters beside you.
Club sports.
Look at all those racists.
This summer, I worked with the lab internship program to get a paid internship at Berkeley Playhouse, where I was able to work with industry professionals and gain real-world experience.
Industry professionals.
The beauty of it all is the ability for me to learn the language and speak the language of finance, take those skill sets and apply them during my internship, which went phenomenal, by the way. I dreamed big. It's funny, since sophomore year, I've been saying that I want to start my own financial services firm, and I'm currently on the cusp of doing that.
Oh, you
San
know he a
Francisco
scammer.
really has the entrepreneur.
He wants to start his own firm. Wow.
He could partner with the Juice Crew.
Nah, Nigerians are good with that. They professionals with that, bro.
We kind of. Did you see the show last night? The end of the show last night?
Yeah.
Are you diseased?
Professional scammers.
Yeah, it's not really. It's the top Nigerians are very good.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
it's
good.
everyone. I mean, you
You
go up
being
to the
nice.
average
Very great.
American and point out a country in Europe, and they have no idea. So,
Russians use them.
Yeah, but this dude, salute to this dude, man. He's very impressive.
Vibe, and I'm excited to start that right out of college.
At St. Mary's, research both on and off campus as an undergraduate student is an invaluable resource. For example, I was able to work very closely with researchers from NASA Goddard Space Flight Center and Johnson Space Flight Center to develop a piece of technology that analyzes data in real time as it would on lunar expedition. St. Mary's has
so you basically are fucking full of shit.
given me the opportunity to excel not only as a student, but as a person and also as a leader. Join us. We can't wait for you to be a Gale.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I believe this shit that your kid's talking about, the racism, attacks.
Yeah, he's starting to lose some credibility now, the kid. It's not good.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
sorry, I was busy chit chatting in the chat. Well, what was the original reason for the video? Was it just curiosity?
Nah, he's good.
Now to parents concerned for their son's safety after several disturbing incidents on the St. Mary's College campus in Moraga.
They believe their son is being targeted, and the school isn't doing enough to address tensions on campus.
They spoke exclusively with ABC 7 News anchor and race and social justice reporter Julian Glover, who is here with us with the story. Julian.
You know, guys, this is the thing that any parent would really fear having their students go through. The Oakland family telling me these incidents have escalated, first name calling, then racial slurs. Now St. Mary's College of California and Moraga PD now confirmed to me they are investigating multiple incidents as hate crimes. Here's what the family I spoke to wants to see happen next.
Oakland residents Tia Honeycutt and James Brickley said they felt good about sending their son to St. Mary's College of California in Moraga last fall. But by spring semester, they noticed something was off.
He wanted to come home more often. You know, he would say, pick me up on Thursday.
Soon, their son David, a freshman, would text them in fear from his dorm room. He told them a handful of students were shouting curse words, including the N-word outside of his room. He believes he was targeted because he's black. He recorded part of it on video and shared it with ABC 7 News.
Let's imagine for a moment, or any parent, that it's your child, and they're behind this door, hearing kill the N-word, kill the N-word. You can for a moment imagine, how he
Where's
felt.
the proof?
Fear.
David, who does not want to be shown on camera out of fear of retaliation, said he reported the incident to his resident assistant and campus advisors.
So it was kind of very disheartening, and I
We'll
was
say he's
promised that
mixed,
things
he's
were
not
going to
black.
change or things that were going to happen, and just nothing happened.
Yeah, so he's been harassed. I mean, he's been racially harassed.
That makes him black.
He's a
I just
sun
think
god.
anyone who sees a mixed person and says they're black just failed at maths. Like they don't know percentages.
Yeah,
Now,
especially when there's real black people there for you to racially abuse. Like, if you really want to get rid of niggers and send a message, why go to somebody who literally doesn't look like one and fuck with them when you just fuck with one of the real ones?
you think it was like a pledge thing, or he was trying to? Because they say he was a freshman.
Nah, I mean, I don't even know if they that type of school, St. Mary's, would allow like a lot of the violence with the pledge. And I think it could just be like maybe you want some, maybe you want some attention, man, or maybe somebody on campus.
But he said it's recorded and they're saying the word. I don't know.
Show me the proof.
Yeah, I mean they did show the proof that,
and just
but
nothing
that's
happened.
not proof.
Weeks later, David told me that's when things escalated. He took this image of the door to the communal bathroom in his dorm. Someone carved "kill" in words in the door. We have blurred that racial slur.
I remember I was rushing to get to my computer science class, and I was just using a restroom, and I look up on the wall next to me, and it's just there it is, like clear as day, written on the wall.
What was going through your mind when, as you said, you were running late for your computer science class, you go into the bathroom, and then you see that?
Honestly, I think it was almost surreal for me.
Days later, another incident on campus prompting the university to send out this alert obtained by ABC 7 News, warning of a hate crime involving property damage, threatening language, and racial slurs written into restrooms. Moraga PD confirms it is investigating these incidents as hate crimes.
That was kind of the final straw as far as us sitting down and having a family meeting. And that's what, was an instigation to go in and talk to the president of the school.
They tell me in that meeting, University President Roger Thompson expressed concern, but not the solutions they wanted to hear.
He said to us that we should think about moving David out of the school. That was his solution to having a
Not out of the
toxic-
dorm, out of the school.
Out of the school.
Yeah, leave.
Different school. Right. So that was his response to a toxic
If you don't feel safe,
culture,
leave.
was to have David leave and let the toxic culture persist.
The university provided me a statement confirming the incident and said it conducted mandatory resident hall meetings with staff, leadership, and students, offered resources to support students, added additional patrols, and raised awareness of bias response and reporting mechanisms. I read that full statement to Tia and James.
I think that's a beautiful, very lawyerly statement that they have crafted, but I heard nothing in there as far as concrete steps that they were taking.
Why does it take us getting in touch with you, Julian? Why did we have to go to ABC News and report these hate crimes on that campus and heard nothing?
In a follow-up statement,
They
a
didn't
university
happen.
spokesperson said the president expressed understanding should the parents wish for their student to transfer to a new school. The president also offered to have David move dorms. He declined.
Why aren't the perpetrators in these crimes, the ones that are kicked out of school, and make a safer and a happier environment for everybody?
David tells me these hate crimes have affected his mental health.
I find myself being at home and indoors more and more because I just don't feel safe on campus, honestly.
His parents are demanding additional action.
There should be a zero tolerance policy for racism. There should be mandatory anti-bias training, and there should be support and protection for the victims.
Wow.
Honestly, I would expel him because I don't need that coming to my school.
Man, P.
Hell yeah.
Just expel him?
Yeah, because if there wasn't anything before, and this bi-ethnic little boy, 18-year-old, comes and then starts claiming racism. And again, I don't know obviously how liberal the mum is, but you always have the
Well, you can tell their parents are
pro-black
liberal.
racism married to gliders. And I don't understand it. And it goes both ways, whether gay or straight. They'll always be married to gliders. I was like, how do gliders feel married to people who are just consistently just talking about them and their people, denigrating their race? And then you meant
No,
to
but
sleep in
this
the same bed as that person. That's crazy.
this guy is down with the Browns, so he's pretty happy.
Yeah, Irish guy all the way in California.
It's to me it's odd. It's just I'm trying to figure it out. It's no reason. That's a great school. That really is a good school.
Yeah, man. This is a. I just don't buy it, man. I'm not buying that.
This
Man.
is like they're targeting this school. They're like trying to embarrass it.
Yeah,
Try to
break down the
BYU
structure.
with it.
Christian.
Work by some Harris County.
It's Christian, it's small, it's conservative. They're just trying to break it down.
Probably not even conservative.
No, I mean conservative just in they have the family value. You know, I mean these
Yeah.
days, just even having basic family values and just being straight and narrow.
That they believe in God, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's being called super conservative. So.
What started as a verbal argument over a parking spot in a Seattle parking garage ended with police drawing their weapons.
One of the sisters was thrown to the ground, and an officer had his knee on her back. And, you know, she smaller build young woman.
The Washington chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations claims that on February 4th, 2 women in their 20s were subject to excessive force after another driver called 911 and claimed they had a gun.
What they didn't realize was when they would come back, they were confronted by a number of police officers with their guns drawn at them, screaming at them to get down, get down. And it was a very, very traumatic incident for them.
The incident is now under
they didn't
investigation by
comply.
the Seattle Office of Police Accountability. The council's legal advocate says the 2 black women, both wearing hijabs, were targeted by the 911 caller because of their race
these
and
girls are
religious
black?
identity.
They're extremely traumatized. They described not wanting to leave their house from fear of interaction with the police again, having someone call in another false allegation against them as Muslim women.
Tonight, they want the man who called 911 to be charged with making a false report.
And I think the message that we're sending is you can't just target the Muslim community and get away with it.
Yes, you can. They're desert demons.
Seattle police did not
Didn't
comment.
even say if they had a gun or
Instead, to the
not.
Office of Police Accountability, an online tracker on its website shows
Ack,
that the
wake
case
up.
is being investigated, and they say typically there is some sort of resolution or.
Let's see.
Place sucks.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Weeks of searching and worry giving way to some sense of relief as police are able to locate a teenage girl who went missing from Vista Maria in Dearborn Heights. That 16-year-old named Tasia found just this afternoon at an apartment near Warren Avenue and Inkster Road. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Kimberly Gill.
And I'm Ty Steele. Tasia was found with an older man at that apartment, and that man has been taken into custody at this point. Erica Erickson has been following this story since last week. She joins us live now from Dearborn Heights Police Department with the very latest on the investigation. First of all, thank goodness she's safe.
Absolutely. Her family and police fearing the worst at times. Tasia found just hours ago. Dearborn Heights police and federal authorities say it's tips from the public, tips from the community that they really relied on to bring her home safely.
She's healthy. She's fine. We are going to complete a SANE kit on her just to make sure.
A SANE kit or a sexual assault nurse exam and a hospital visit. Some of the top priorities as details about where 16-year-old Tasia Keaton has been and who she's been with since she went missing come to light. Tips from the community leading federal investigators and Dearborn Heights police to an apartment at Warren and Inkster Wednesday afternoon. Tasia, sources say, staying with a 62-year-old man who police confirm is in custody.
It's an ongoing investigation, but he's in custody, and we plan on doing interviews with him sometime later on today. And wherever it goes from there, we will submit a warrant to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office.
Since Tasia's disappearance, allegations of physical and sexual abuse coming from former and current staff and residents of the Facility for Vulnerable Youth Tasia ran away from. Vista Maria. It's believed that Tasia had been sexually assaulted by at least 2 men or Johns since she ran away from the center and had been staying with that third man in that apartment. There are also 2 active investigations into a former male staff member of Vista Maria who was accused of sexually assaulting another teen resident and Tasia before she went missing.
I praise the Lord, she's safe. But, what kind of psychological problems it's going to cause you because of what they've done.
And while police say they're working to get information on those allegations and others, Tasia's family, while relieved, they say they're angry with Vista Maria.
Them saying that their heart goes out to me and my family, I don't believe it. They didn't call me when she first went missing.
Back out here live, we are hearing from a spokesperson from Vista Maria. They say in part, quote, "Our thanks go out to the many law enforcement agencies that worked hard to find her, especially the Dearborn Heights Police Department. Vista Maria stands ready to support Tasia and her family in any way we can in the future." Meanwhile, Dearborn Heights Police say they will be holding a news conference out here at the police station at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Reporting live, Erica Erickson, back to you.
And we know you'll be there. Erica, thank you.
Erica.
A jury is seated in the trial of a former Grand Rapids police officer charged with the murder of Patrick Lyoya. Jury selection took about 2.5 days. The trial is set to begin Monday. Jacqueline Francis is following this story for us and breaks down the case ahead of Monday's opening statements. Jacqueline, we do want to warn people there is some footage that people might find disturbing.
Yeah, it's taken 3 years to get here. Patrick Lyoya was shot and killed during a traffic stop in April of 2022. It's now 2025, and Lyoya's family says justice is long overdue.
1915.
April 4th, 2022.
I'm stopping you. Do you have a license?
What done?
Do you have a driver's license? Do you speak English?
Yes.
Can I see your license?
It's 8:11 a.m. in Grand Rapids.
What do you want?
The plate doesn't belong on this car. Do you have a license or no?
Officer Christopher
and he
Schur
kept
makes a traffic
stalling.
stop.
Do you have a driver's license?
Yes.
Where is it at?
Behind the wheel is Patrick
Get
Lyoya.
it for me. Stop. 1915. You got one running.
Patrick tries to get away. The officer runs after him and they struggle.
Stop.
Schur gets out his taser and deploys it twice.
And he tried to grab the officer's gun,
The
if I
two
remember
fight
correctly.
over the taser.
Yeah, what the fuck are we doing
Schur is on
here?
top of Patrick. When he pulls
Oh,
out his
acted
gun, he
this.
fires a
Unacceptable
fatal
Acted this
shot
when it
to the
came
back
out.
of his head.
Based on his investigation, based on everything he has provided to me, I've made the decision to charge Christopher Schur with 1 count of second-degree murder.
Schur and his legal team filed appeals, arguing he was acting within his right as a police officer to use deadly force. In December, the state Supreme Court ruled it would not hear arguments in the case and that it should proceed to trial. A date was set for the end of this month, 3 years after the shooting.
Zaidi tena zaidi sana. My heart is still broken. My heart is still bleeding because I just want justice for my son.
Patrick's father talked with us ahead of trial. He plans to be there every day, preparing himself for what will be seen and heard.
Sure, their father
As a
and son, they
parent,
look
as
the
a
same
father,
age.
the only thing that I would be asking the more is just justice for my son, justice for Patrick.
Patrick was a 26-year-old refugee from the Congo. He was a father of 2, a brother and a son.
Every time they bring all those pictures, those memory, it's heartbroken.
The scales of justice will soon be in the hands of the jury.
This case, to me, is no different than George Floyd.
Attorney Ben Johnson, who's representing the family in the civil
Just to
case,
say,
says to
and
expect
even
a
what
lot
they
of
charged
technical
him
talk
with
about the
was
taser, whether
based
Patrick got
on
hold of
how
it
they were
and
doing
whether it
George,
posed a threat. The defense touched on
the
this during
officer
a
of George
preliminary
Floyd.
hearing in 2022, bringing in an expert to analyze the video frame by frame.
So now both individuals each have a right hand on the taser.
Schur's attorneys have not spoken publicly ahead of the trial, but Johnson expects the former officer to take the stand.
Schur's going to testify. He has to. He has to, right? Because only he can talk about his state of mind when he pulled that trigger while he was on top of Patrick, while Patrick was on the ground, and while Schur had the gun to the back of Patrick's head.
From Grand Rapids to Detroit,
Sun
Patrick's death
fatigue.
sparked protests and
Yeah, I mean,
calls
what
for justice.
what
The
other
Lawyer
state of
family has
mind do
been
they
people
need
through all their
if
pain,
an
and we need the
officer's fighting with
community
a
to mirror
perpetrator?
that.
On behalf of the family, please, right, let justice prevail.
And I know
The
watching
trial will
all the
take
body cam
place in
footage I watch,
Grand
usually officers,
Rapids.
when they bring out
Opening
their gun,
statements will be
they
first
put it
thing
on the
Monday
body of the
morning. We'll be
perpetrator and say,
covering
like,
that
stop
trial
or I'll
every
shoot
step of the
you.
way.
They'll put
Reporting
it on
live,
some
Jacqueline
part of the
Francis,
perpetrator's
Local 4.
body.
Okay, Jacqueline, thank you.
Now we have a positive update to a story, a sad story about animal cruelty in Detroit.
Is
Now, we
Ar-
first
is
told you
Arca
about this at 6
narcoleptic?
o'clock last night. Let me catch you up. Someone threw two
Wake
kittens
up.
out of the window of an SUV at a gas station. This SUV, this is on 7 Mile and Grand River in Detroit. One of the kittens died, but here's the good
the
news.
Sun Man.
You're looking at one of the other
He's right
kittens who is
behind
now
you.
receiving care at Michigan Humane, survived. This is all thanks to a woman named...
You missed it, but the Patrick Leola story. You know, the
What's
police
that?
officer, I think it was Boston or Connecticut.
They're having a wrestling match. The officer and
The
Sun Man.
Congolese guy. The
Yeah, the
immigrant.
one from that was Michigan,
Yeah.
Grand Rapids.
Yeah. So you
What
just
happened?
missed it. But
How much
no,
time
the
did he get?
officer's going to go on trial later this year.
Oh, okay. He's
And I
gonna
was
get.
saying that they were harsh to him because it was on the back of George Floyd and
Right.
Derek Chauvin.
Yeah, that African dude was an asshole, man. Oh wow, look at this guy. This one right here. Yikes.
A shocking crime and a most shocking discovery. Harris County prosecutors say a sexual assault suspect was caught in the act over the weekend by family members of the victim.
They reportedly tracked the young woman's cell phone, went to the location, saw what was happening, jumped in to stop it, holding the man until police arrived.
Matt Doherty is live near the scene off Fairbanks Road with more. What we're learning about this case, Matt.
Linamia prosecutors say the sequence of events started here in this area at one of these nearby gas stations. It's where they say the teenager had walked to the gas station to go into the store. It's also where they say the suspect first noticed the young woman. Take a look at this. This is his mugshot. This is 41-year-old Freddie Arriaga. Prosecutors say Arriaga asked the teen, quote, how much for sex?
They could use an older mugshot, man, so we can see what he really looks like. They use the current, like the little picture of getting his ass kicked. They beat the shit out of him like they should have. If you want to support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat, man, make sure you support the channel, guys. Jeez Christ, man. These streams are not monetized. Make sure y'all support the channel, man. You take the challenge, take the pledge. Let's see. Freddie Arriaga got his ass kicked.
You got a
How
fight.
much for sex as she walked into the gas station? When she left, they say he followed her, then forced her into a wooded area and sexually assaulted her. While this was happening, prosecutors say the teen's family saw that the location on her phone showed she was in the woods. They went looking for her. When they called her name, they heard her screams from the area where her phone was tracked.
Damn, man, he was
Concerned
probably
about
gonna
her
kill.
whereabouts, and
Nah,
they have her
he's trying to get that
location,
nut.
which actually highlights the importance of families being able to track their loved ones, especially children, late at night, to know exactly where they are and to help intervene and protect in situations exactly like this.
Prosecutors say Arriaga was detained by the family until police arrived. According to court records, Arriaga is a Mexican citizen living in Spring. They say he has 3 young children and has never been arrested. The suspect.
What is a Mexican citizen? Does that mean that he's illegal? What does that mean? He's a Mexican citizen living in Spring. Is that what the woke way said he's illegal?
Yeah.
He embarrassed his whole family. He just embarrassed himself. He's terrible.
Suspect's bond has been set at $100,000. Lynn and Mia.
All right, Matt, with the very latest tonight. Also tonight.
Damn. He's straight up and
The
down.
2025 NFL Draft is now officially open.
He's straight up and down Why do they have Little Wayne in part of every fucking thing?
He's a Packer fan.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ.
People who live in a Northeast Houston neighborhood are asking for help. They are witnessing dangerous confrontations from gunfire to fistfights. They believe these problems are caused by students from nearby high school cutting class. When residents reached out to 2 investigators, Robert Arnold, for help, he spent several days in that neighborhood working to find out why no one is stopping this.
The sound, unmistakable. The images speak for themselves. Starting 4 years ago with this video, residents of a Northeast Houston neighborhood near the Hardy Toll Road and across from HISD Sam Houston High School have continuously recorded dangerous confrontations. Everything from bullets hitting the pavement to brawls in the parking lot, like this melee, where an officer chases one person on a bike only to let them go to race back to break up a fight. And residents tell us they believe these problems are prompted by kids sneaking off campus during the school day. I know all y'all supposed to be in school. What's going on? Sam Houston's first bell rings at 8:30 a.m. That means the kids hanging out at the Family Dollar on this October morning should already be in class. A visit from an HISD police officer seems to have little effect, as none of the kids are in a hurry to get back to campus. On this February morning, another HISD officer stops by a group of kids hanging out across the street from campus at 10 in the morning. Some move along, others stay put.
There we go, turn here.
After watching the videos, we wanted to see for ourselves what was happening at the school. Sam Houston is gated on all sides, but on the 5 days we were there, we saw plenty of kids leaving campus before lunchtime. Many walk out when a car arrives and the gate opens. This kid just pulled the gate open, some squeeze through it, and this student just jumps it.
I don't understand this at all.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not an open campus.
After leaving campus, these kids didn't appear to have anywhere particular to go.
Is this the 2 that forced open the gate? Yes, that it you is. saw? Yeah.
We also wondered about security in general after seeing kids showing up well after the morning bell, jumping the gate to get in or crawling under it. This entrance off Irvington Boulevard had plastic over the latches to prevent the doors from locking. On another day, a traffic cone propped open the doors.
Okay.
Naturally, we wanted to talk with either Sam Houston's principal
Does
or a
that
member of
mean America
HISD
should
senior staff about what we
re-implement
saw
child
and how
labor
they're
then?
addressing neighborhood concerns.
What did you say?
No, I said, should America re-implement child labor since these children cannot be at school? Just keep them in a holding pen or something, but maybe doing something.
Yeah, the Sun Teens are perfect for the factories.
Yeah, and the umbritas as well. Umbritas. Conveyor belts, just doing something. Because obviously sitting down for a few hours to learn, read from a book isn't, they're not interested in that. So they need to be doing something so we can babysit them since they want to be babysat. So child labor.
Maybe. But I mean, this is America's so woke right now. Putting children to work is almost a non-starter.
We got a written statement that's not very specific and not even attributed to an actual individual, just HISD spokesperson. It reads, the district works to create a safe environment on campus, cooperates with law enforcement off campus to address problems, and encourages parents to talk with their kids about making good choices. That's it. I completely understand. Have a good day. Thank you for your time, sir. We also knocked on a lot of doors and talked to 4 residents over the phone. Would you mind doing an interview with us? But no one wanted to talk on camera. They tell us they want help out here, but are afraid of retaliation. No one at the Family Dollar would talk with us either, but we did notice after the more violent incidents, a fence was added in back and cameras in the parking lot. And we also spoke with Houston police, and we're told when time and resources permit, they'll send extra patrols by the school and, of course, respond to crimes in progress. But there's not a lot they can do when it comes to kids just leaving campus in the middle of the day. Truancy was decriminalized 10 years ago, and 2 years ago, the state legislature banned municipalities from enforcing juvenile curfews.
Robert, you've also been reporting on lawmakers trying to address truancy and absenteeism. Tell us what's happening on that front.
So there's 3 bills that appear to be poised to go through. The push-pull at the state legislature has been Do we build tougher consequences back into the system that wind up punishing kids who are really having struggles in life, or do we add more support? So the bills that look like they're going to go through this session will basically go along the lines of better data collection and coming up with better policies to try to support those students who are missing class and try to get them back into the classroom.
Okay, we need
more
it's a multi-pronged
programs,
solution.
more
My goodness,
services.
yeah. Okay, thank you, sir.
For years, there have been reports of increasing crime around the Greyhound bus station in Midtown Houston. But since then, that bus station has moved its major operations from Midtown back in November to the East End. And the reception is not that great because residents are concerned that they're seeing an increase in crime at the new location. Councilman, we're on Harrisburg now. Initially, the Greyhound bus station was in Midtown. They shut down, ceased operations there back in November. Now it's in your district.
Yes, sir.
And we have some people complaining about it moving here. What are some of the problems that they have seen as a result of the buses moving here?
So I think it's a legitimate complaint as well, right? Especially because the former administration didn't give anyone a heads up, community, elected officials. I think some of the biggest complaints is going to be high traffic, increase in unhoused folks as well. And I think one of the ones that's more alarming to me is how TDCJ is being dropped off here now.
And for those who are not familiar with the TDCJ process, exactly what do you mean when they're dropped off?
Yeah, so the Texas Department of Correctional, folks that are being released from prison, from jail, are being transported to this location to go to their next stop. Midtown, there's more high rises, so there wasn't a lot of residential that was connected to or abutting the property. This, you have neighborhoods literally a block away. Some of them actually line up right behind the bus station, and so their process of releasing, from what we had a meeting January 6th, was that 6 months prior to being released, they are ensuring that they don't get released to homelessness. How true that is, we don't know yet, right? And it's only been two months of operation. But we have seen some increase in homeless folks around here. The TDCJ specifically, when they get here, what are those next steps?
And when you take a look at what you see here now, before Greyhound was here, they've always operated out of here. Right. But you said they're doing 20 to 30 buses a day now.
Not 30. So they've what they've guaranteed is less than 23 buses a day.
23 buses a day.
And so, of course, we've have HPD a little bit more patrolling around here, making sure that as those buses come in, it doesn't increase as much, because what you'll start seeing some of the buses staging on Capitol, which is on the backside. And of course, we have a city ordinance where you can't idle for more than 15 minutes. And so making sure that we're still helping press on some of those ordinances that we do have within our books to not allow it to, traffic to increase too much. The one big difference is that these gates were being shut at 11, not as a 24-hour system. So having more traffic here in between those more early morning, hours, late evening hours is something that's a big difference now.
One of the things some of the citizens mentioned was panhandling as well. What can be done about that other than HPD making their presence known?
Yeah, so we do have a panhandling ordinance, of course, that HPD can make themselves present. I think at the end of the day, and it's important to kind of uphill a bit more, right? This is a unhoused homeless challenge that we have within the entire city of Houston. So how do we provide, some of those support services that those individuals need? Panhandling, you can go any intersection at the Gulf Freeway, I-10, you're going to see it in aggressive panhandling as well. Once you're in residential, it's where it becomes a bit more intimate. And so we definitely want to make sure that presence is here, but also the district office, we've given dollars to the homeless outreach team through HPD to start building those relationships with them as well. So that way they can build up some of that trust. And hopefully, the goal is to get them to some permanent housing.
And right now you can see where traffic is starting to back up just a little bit there, but that's not something that was typical in the past.
It was not, right? Right now we're in the absolute, and I'm glad we can see HPD actually driving through. And again, there's a lot more presence, but here it wasn't as much, but when the bus comes out, it does back up cars further down, maybe a good half a mile. It's only one lane, and that's another concern, right? Is how much traffic congestion is going to cause, and are those cars going to go into the neighborhood? And then it's just another quality of life that we're now diminishing because of that. So this increasing a bit more is definitely increasing traffic as well.
And what can you tell, I guess, to tell to the residents to keep their minds at ease that you are working on this? You're talking with the state. You're talking with state representatives, HPD. What can you tell them to put their minds at ease that this won't be like what we saw in Midtown, where people were just upset about the Greyhound bus station there?
So I'm going to do everything within my capacity to ensure that public safety is priority, number one. And so because of that, we've actually have given overtime dollars for HPD to address nuisance properties like what you see behind you as well. We want to make sure that these kind of havens aren't accessible, that then folks can camp out, maybe burn down or whatnot. And so we're going to continue to address quality of life issues. We're going to continue to make sure that we're working with the management district, who we're currently working on a civility ordinance to extend down Harrisburg. Essentially, what that does is it doesn't allow folks to loiter between the hours of 7 a.m. to 11. And so we're going to bring those tools out. What the residents can do is report anything and everything. I know there's been a talk about increasing crime. Some of those reports are loitering, so they're doing their job. Residents are doing their job, so they call 713-884-3131. That's the HPD non-emergency number. But if it's something that's really needed, 911, of course.
Now, while it has its problems, it's nowhere near Midtown and what that was.
Yeah. It's nowhere near Midtown.
Check out the prognostics.
We're still going to keep our foot on the gas, right? We're going to still ensure that we're doing what we can. But I'm glad you definitely noticed it's nowhere near as Midtown. But at the end of the day, residents still feel what they feel, and I want to make sure that they understand that we are, at the forefront of this.
I've been too lucky over the past.
Now, some residents say they would like to see the bus station, or at least that hub, move to a more industrial area.
Wake up!
Time to go to work,
And welcome
No,
back to the
literally, I'm
second
about
half
to sign
hour of
off to
Factor
catch my
Uncensored.
train.
It's been a notorious McDonald's on Main Street near downtown Houston. People nearby, residents wanted to go.
Wake
because
up!
of the aggressive homeless population and panhandlers
needs to
who
wake
seem
up to
to
at least
hold
close the
America's
stream.
favorite fast food restaurant hostage. Things became so bad at the burger stop that some nicknamed it Crack Donald's and McStanley.
Crack Donald's.
We caught up with some city leaders who talked about the demise of the downtown McDonald's. Take a look.
This is overly dramatic.
We would have been here a month or two ago before this McDonald's shut down, a notorious business in downtown Houston and Midtown. We would be surrounded right now by a group of homeless people panhandling, leaving you feeling uncomfortable. Do you recall that?
I do. And I know how it makes you feel very uncomfortable when you park your car and they walk up to you before you even opened your door. That's a dangerous situation for a person that understands what could potentially take place. And then when you get through and you go to your car, they follow you out wanting your change.
Yeah.
And so, I believe that that's not a place that a family wants to come to, that a mom wants to bring her children.
And Constable, McDonald's historically has always been about families and kids. And many of the residents around here said we never came to this place because it wasn't family friendly.
Yeah. Wake up.
Open for 40 years.
We're
and of course,
leaving.
The neighborhoods transformed like many neighborhoods.
You need to
They've
finish your
transformed.
life.
Things have happened. Things have changed. And in this particular, being so close in proximity to the bus station, there is a lot of homelessness out here. I've spent a lot of time over the years
think
under
he's
these
gone,
bridges
guys.
and dealing with a lot of the homeless problems. And there's no easy.
Well, he'll wake
answer.
up feeling
And
great.
so yeah, you do. You come here to McDonald's. You can't bring your family sometimes because people. Unfortunately, our homeless population is getting more aggressive.
He slept
about
for
the
like
way
10
they approach
minutes at one
people and
point.
ask for
Give him 5 more
money
minutes,
or
maybe.
food or anything else. It's just there's been a
Wake
transformation,
up.
and I think a lot of it has to do with drugs. I think a lot of it has to do with mental illness and these things that people have become
I
more
think whoever
aggressive.
goes
Our
on
homeless
future
population
lives
has become
has
more
to
aggressive, and
insist
it just
on
took
the
over this.
backup control.
And you make a point there.
He just
And
needs to
For
plan
all
for
our
this.
food.
It just happens to be here, but caught in the middle.
Gave
of
Wicked his
all of
number,
this.
but
Now, one of the
can't
things
just
that
always count on
Council
Wicked.
Member Kubar said was,
The other problem is the Department of Corrections drops off at least 120, inmates a week when they're released to the Greyhound
wake
bus
up.
station. Then they come and they're in the area.
And the problem with that is that, you know, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, not to say anything ugly, because they have their hands full there as well, is they don't give them enough money. So when they get here, is family going to be here to pick them up? Right. Or are they going to have any resources here? How are they going to be dealt with? So if you just let somebody that's just left the prison setting for a long time and just put them out on the street, bad things could happen.
And of course, if you check your archives, news archives, or even your files, Constable, because of all the people who are around here, there was a lot of crime here.
Right. There was drug dealing, there were stabbings, there were shootings, there were prostitution.
Wake up.
And the prostitution is it's not something you want to bring your children to see. And I hate it when any business goes out of business, especially because of a crime element.
I am going to have
Especially
to
McDonald's. Look at this guy.
Business has been here for years. My office has been less than a mile from here.
I'm going to have to love and leave you, but good
But
luck.
people are actually happy to see it.
Yeah, I
go
guess
now.
someone's got to stick
Because they're
around.
saying they could never use it. They couldn't frequent it.
And to be honest, whoever owned the McDonald's,
Bye, guys.
their
Enjoyed the
business was
chat.
being impacted
Bill,
by this,
I'm
and so
trying
it's
to come
just
to
really not
Wyoming
fair.
at some point.
It's a
The whole
shame
Midwest.
because it had
Do
been here
it.
for so many years. But
yeah,
we
no, absolutely.
routinely
I told you,
are
ranching,
looking for fugitives at
horses,
the Greyhound bus
the
station.
wilderness.
You know, a lot of people come from different cities, different states, and
Definitely.
they get dropped off here.
Okay,
And a
I
lot
will
of it's
speak
criminal
to
elements.
everyone
Not
hopefully
all,
this weekend.
but there
Bye.
are substantial criminal elements in and around this McDonald's.
And part of the
Are
problem
gonna
here,
wake
guys,
up
that
now.
we have seen this business become a victim to homelessness is we recently heard Mayor Turner say there's about 3,000 homeless people in the city of Houston. Are we making an impact? Are we making a dent in dealing with that homelessness issue and getting them the services that they need?
And the reason why he says there's about 3,000 is because we do a homeless count every year. And we go around and we try to figure out how many people are out and about that are homeless. And I think the mayor has done an excellent job on getting our veterans housing. If they're a veteran, he's tried to get wraparound services for people that have been housed. But you have to remember, a lot of these people don't want to be subject to any rules. They want to be out on the street, and a lot of it's mental illness, and our hands are tied.
How about you, Constable? Obviously, your office, your precinct. All of this is your precinct. Did you ever have any frustration with this area?
Oh, of course. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, our investigators...
Did you say dumbass question?
Anybody out there?
I would never say that to you. Not to your face. But yeah, no, we've done many investigations here at the Greyhound bus station. We've done many investigations in and around the McDonald's. There is a lot of homelessness here. We spend a tremendous amount of time dealing with the homeless in and around here. So my office has a homeless outreach team that comes down here and tries to give services and help. And it's not an easy problem to solve. We gotta say that the homelessness is not an easy problem to solve, but I think that everybody, especially elected officials, have a duty to try and solve that problem. In this area, you know, it's tough because Councilman Kubas is right. They don't want to move. They don't want to leave. I've come out here when it's 19 degrees and tried to coax them into a warming center where we were going to house them, feed them, and take care of their needs just till the cold left. And they didn't want to leave their stuff. They didn't want to leave the area. This is where they are. So I understand why McDonald's left, because that family environment is gone. You're not going to stop here. You're not going to feel comfortable stopping here to bring your family to get a bite to eat at McDonald's. You're just not.
Any hopes that there will be a new business here or something that won't attract so many homeless?
Well, I mean, look around. Look at all these high
Hey,
around here.
it's time to wake up.
And I mean, you got a BMW dealership right over here. I mean, once a lot of this is gone, who knows what will take its place? But you know, we know that a vacuum is not tolerated, so that something's going to take place. Something will fill the gap. And with them taking down this Pierce Elevated, I mean, I'm a little concerned about that, but they're going to take it down. I don't know how we're going to get around. But nonetheless, you know, something's going to come here, and I just hope that whatever it is, we can have it successful, and crime won't be the element here.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for your time.
You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join
Oh,
our Bring the
hell
Funk fan
no.
club. Every dollar you give to us supports our daily digital show.
Fuck,
One
you gotta
thing
wake up now.
that keeps it back and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland
Please
Martin
wake
Unfiltered
up.
digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Folks, there's this extremely popular black-owned restaurant in Houston called the Turkey Leg. They do these smoked turkey legs. And look, y'all, I am not a huge fan of turkey or even smoked turkey legs, but the food there is unbelievable. I've been there many times. You can go to Instagram. You see my videos from there. But they were in court today where they had filed an emergency motion to dissolve a temporary restraining order put in place by white neighbors who say the restaurant is a threat to their health. They claim the restaurant's outdoor cooking area is illegal and the smoke is a health hazard. This was a news conference where the owners of the restaurant went before the public on Friday. The neighbors, what they did was they got that particular order preventing them from using their smokers between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. And of course, that's their most busiest times. Thousands go to this restaurant every single week because of the turkey legs. They've taken Houston by storm with these white residents who recently moved in, want them shut down. Here's that news conference from Friday.
On Wednesday morning, November 20th, 2019, our attorney was blindsided by a telephone call from the plaintiff's counsel stating that he would be in Harris County District Court in roughly an hour to appear before a judge to seek an emergency temporary restraining order, temporary injunction, and permanent injunction against the Turkey Leg Hut and its owners. The affidavit of their named specialist was never shared with our attorney, nor was he provided adequate notification time to represent us in court on Wednesday morning. The lawsuit was filed by a handful of people who want to vilify the Turkey Leg Hut as a nuisance to the community. We have successfully operated our business in compliance and cooperation with the City of Houston and its ordinances, despite repeated attacks from this handful of people on parking, noise, and now smoke for the past 2 years. It is difficult not to presume that they simply don't want us here. And Wednesday's lawsuit was a failed attempt to permanently shut down the Turkey Leg Hut. With regard to the allegations in the lawsuit that the smoke from our turkey smokers is a public health risk, the plaintiffs and their counsel have a private party posing as the City of Houston Health Department. The allegations are purely speculative and with no proof whatsoever. Contrary to what the plaintiffs are saying, the Turkey Leg Hut currently has all of the permitting that we need to operate. We want to be very clear. We care deeply about the people in this community, as well as our employees, customers, and the City of Houston. We have heard and listened to the handful of complaints about the smoke from neighboring residents and have been actively pursuing a resolution in response to those complaints. On September 25th, 2019, we received approval from a permit for the construction of a ventilated, fully enclosed smoke pit area to resolve the problem. Before construction can begin, approval of a replat is required by the city as the pit is currently located on the subdivision line, and the city will not allow structures to be built over the subdivision line. A public meeting was held by the City of Houston Planning Committee on October 31st, 2019. At this meeting, the Planning Committee required us to present our plans to the Museum Park Super Neighborhood, which we did. At the Museum Park Super Neighborhood meeting held just last week on Wednesday, November 13th, 2019, a handful of neighborhood residents showed up to oppose us building the enclosure that will solve the very problem that they filed the lawsuit on this past week. Despite the opposition, we answered all questions regarding the replat, as well as questions regarding the pit area.
All right, folks. Now here's the deal. Okay, so they they went to court today trying to get it lifted. I'm still waiting. I'm texting the owners right now to find out, of course, what actually happened. But check this out. Y'all about to really trip out. I got my hands on an email. And first of all, the part of the ruling today when it went to court, they included in their motion some of what's in this email. But yeah, I got my hands on the email, and y'all ought to see the crap that these folks actually said in the email. The email was written by this guy, Matthew Trail. The email is from October 5th, 2019. This is what he writes. Chris Feldman is their lawyer. Chris thinks we have a good case going forward on the nuisance issues such as smoke and noise in the city's non-enforcement. He is going to research if there are permit deed restriction ways that we can prevent the parking lot, but he says that does not fold as neatly into the nuisance complaint as the other issues. Still, it will be part of the overall nuisance complaint, and if we are successful, we might be able to stop it altogether. Then he says the best idea from yesterday is Chris is going to create the special mini neighborhood organization to bring the suit. This is good news for us because it means none of us have to bring the suit in our own names. We will essentially all just be members of this organization that, quote, decided to sue. They have that in quotation marks. It should shield us somewhat from individual discovery requests and makes litigation a lot simpler for Chris's firm. We need a name for the organization, so feel free to suggest. Greater Rosedale Protection Association, Alameda Quality of Life, the Justice Society of Tomorrow, I don't know yet. This organization will sue on our behalf, and we all would just be its members. The money that you contribute would just be toward your membership, and you would not have to say that you are directly funding a lawsuit. In boldface, this does not mean complete anonymity. Your name as a member would still be out there. It just means the litigation does not have to be in our individual names. We're thinking that Josh and I will be managers and someone else will be the president. I'm going to invite the MPNA to join as well and also ask them for money if they have any. Chris is committed to keeping our cost to a temporary injunction to $20,000. We will know by that point what sort of defense they will have and what sort of success we are having. It is still very important that you all join an organization and contribute to the lawsuit. We still need to raise the money. The organization is still just us working together. But I got y'all email. We need to collect money from everyone. No one is demanding a specific amount, but please contribute what you can. Let Josh or me know when we can come by and pick up checks. Everything will be held in a trust account by Chris's firm. Please make the checks out to Feldman and Feldman PC. All right, y'all, now check this out. The next big thing is record keeping. Chris asked that from now on we take video of anything that looks like nuisance. If you're out and you see a loud car or motorcycle, take video. People peeing on your fence, video. Drunk folks staggering back, video. Smoke billowing through the neighborhood, video. Loud music, video. I know most of us might have thought about avoiding our homes next Sunday for the street party. They had a festival, y'all. But he said to take video of that especially. All nuisance in whatever form, we need to video from now on. This is the key. The ultimate goal of this litigation is obviously for the turkey leg hut to be somewhere else and not on our corner. But that cannot be the stated goal. Let me read that again, y'all. Wow. The ultimate goal of this litigation is obviously for the TLH, turkey leg hut, to be somewhere else and not on our corner. But that cannot be the stated goal. So we also need to think of injunction relief that we can ask for, such as cook off-site or build a sort of filter that no one would ever know you're cooking, no music past 9 p.m., no use of bass or subwoofers at all, signs up telling their patrons to keep the noise down, no parking lot. If no parking lot is not possible, then I was thinking that they have to provide an officer there to keep the peace. Hopefully we can just stop the lot, some sort of monitoring system for both noise and smoke that will result in them being fined if they go over. If you have other suggestions, please give them to us. Now, Let me explain to y'all. This thing is so popular that the owners bought several nearby lots because of all the people who are coming there. This, y'all, is a historic black neighborhood. 3rd Ward is where JFK's high school, my high school is. It's where Texas Southern University is. Alameda Road, where Houston, like literally across the street from Turkey Leg Hut, is KCOH Radio, the most historic black radio station in Houston. That's where Skipper Lee Frazier, all the artists used to come in, all the Motown people. Alameda Road used to be the corridor of black businesses in 3rd Ward. It's just across the freeway. But what has happened is these former colonizers, now gentrifiers, have moved into these areas, and now they want to move out these black businesses. We've seen this all around the country. In Oakland, where you had a white guy moving to a traditionally black neighborhood, called the cops on a black church where they were actually having choir rehearsal on a Wednesday, and said that the noise coming from inside of the church was too loud. You've had, of course, where the black drummers in Harlem, they've been beating their drums every Sunday for decades. White folks moved in, called the cops. We want them to stop making noise beating those drums. Luther Campbell talked about the exact same thing happened there in Miami. Black neighborhood, whites moved in, wanted the traditional black things to stop, saying y'all are making too much noise. What you're seeing here are white residents in Houston specifically targeting one of the most popular restaurants in the city in an historic neighborhood, and they want them to leave. You heard them say, we don't want them on our corner. Kelly, this is what is happening in black neighborhoods nationwide that are changing. We saw it with the go-go music in Washington, D.C., where they said, oh my God, turn that stuff down, and it was due to protest where the brother who owned that store brought the music back. But that's what we're seeing, where white folks are moving into black areas and changing the culture. Last one for you, Kelly, Shiloh Baptist Church, right there in Washington, D.C. White folks have moved in and said, y'all have too much parking on Sundays. That's where people go to church. They literally are trying to force Shiloh Baptist Church out of the neighborhood they've been in for more than a half a century. Kelly.
I was going to actually make the point about Don't Mute DC, because this is definitely akin to that. But the fact that this is an email that went out to God knows who and how many people, how is this not a modern day Willie Lynch letter? Because this was almost a step-by-step process as to how to move black people out of spaces that they've been in for decades, if not, more than that. For you to not be there and then all of a sudden just come into somebody else's space, and because you don't like how they conduct business in their space that you just got into, all of a sudden it's a problem. But the more obvious thing is, isn't Texas like a huge barbecue state? Like, don't they have smoke everywhere because of restaurants? Like,
first of all, you don't even have zoning restrictions, and so you can actually in Houston have a business right next to a home. You don't have that. And that's one of the issues you have. They're trying to get it shut down.
I just don't understand how you are in Texas, of all states, which, for Texans, they would probably consider themselves the, king and, presidents of barbecue, what have you. I'm not going into that debate, but it's a big deal there. That is a part of
Don't hate. We are.
No. I literally don't know. Like, that's right. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, barbecue is a part of the culture of Texas in general. And you have the audacity, the testicular fortitude to go into Texas and say, don't smoke no meat. Like, that to me is just absurd. And the fact that they are going so far as to literally have a step-by-step process as to how to dismantle a culture in Houston that is insidious, that is harassment. I don't see how this is not malice and malicious. If anything, I would countersue and sue, I don't know what the elements are in Texas, but intentional infliction of emotional distress is certainly something that I thought of.
Gotcha.
Negligence, harassment, slander, libel. I mean, just pile the book on it, because this is ridiculous. This is absolutely absurd.
Julian, the couple who owns it, they actually live in the neighborhood. They're from the neighborhood. But again, we're seeing this all around the country. This is happening all around the country.
Yes, it is. And, it not only is it gentrification, Roland, it's also economic suppression because these people have put their heart and soul into this business. You could tell as the sister was reading her letter, put her heart and soul into this business, and they want to take it because it inconveniences them. That was just like the white boy who said Howard University should move. When Howard said, that they didn't want random dogs running around their camp, he actually, maybe Howard should move.
I don't want to get mad all over again, because that was
no. But Roland, you got the smoking gun. I don't know how you got the email, but congratulations for getting it. Because guess what? That man who signed that email, he says we want to hide and we don't want anybody to be liable. Dude, you are liable, and the law firm is liable as well. They want to hide because they don't want to be sued. This couple needs to sue them for their homes, their automobiles, and everything else they have. This is just insidious, and it's happening, as you say, all over the country where Black folks have built up a base, and not only a base, a historic base, and folks want to come and get it. Now they'll say stuff like, oh, it's the market. No, it's not the market. It's your caucasity. That's all it is.
There it is.
Melik, first of all, first of all, here's what happened. The Turkey Leg Hut owners got a hold of this email, went to court today at 2 p.m. The ruling came down that Turkey Leg Hut has been allowed to resume their normal meat smoking hours following an emergency hearing Tuesday afternoon. Owners Nakia Price and Lindell Price asked for the emergency motion to dissolve the temporary restraining order against the restaurant or the bond be raised. A judge has allowed them to resume their normal smoking hours until their next hearing on December 9th. They were restricted. Now they can go back. But again, the hearing was because of that email, because that judge now sees the real intention of these residents. This is an issue that, again, to Black folks all across this country, we are seeing this and experiencing this right here in Houston. We're seeing it in Harlem. We're seeing it in Oakland. We've seen it in Miami. We've seen this in Chicago, where again, these traditional Black customs, Black things that Black folks have done for decades are being impacted by whites coming in saying, no, you can't do this. Remember the woman out in Oakland who told a Black man he couldn't barbecue when there were no rules against it? And of course, she called the cops. Well, hell, they've had barbecue parties every weekend ever since then. But this is what Black people are experiencing. Here you have a Black couple, a hugely successful restaurant, only open 2 years. Thousands are coming through. Yesterday, they partnered with Joe Young, a basketball player, professional basketball player, handed out 3,000 turkey legs to the community for Thanksgiving. And these folks want them run out of the neighborhood that they grew up in.
Yeah, I think it's I'm glad you actually brought up the cases here in D.C. And just to be clear about the one with the go-go music, there are people who can reasonably disagree whether a owner of a store should be allowed to place a loudspeaker outside of his store. I mean, that people can reasonably argue that that's a nuisance. I get the culture argument, but people can reasonably argue that. As far as the Shiloh Baptist Church deal, parking is pretty scarce in DC, and that's in the Logan Circle area. And for as long as I've been in DC, the conversation about churches and parking and even bike lanes has been a huge conversation. And that's not really a racial thing as people are making. As far as the situation, as the situation in Texas, from what I'm hearing, it seems as if that there was an actual issue there with the smoke. Because the owner said that they actually are now in the process of getting the permits or something to have an enclosed space for that where it's proper venting or something. So it seems like that could be possibly a valid issue. Me personally, and of course I probably wouldn't move into a neighborhood like that, but I wouldn't want to live next to a store that has loudspeakers outside of its store all times of the day. I wouldn't want to live beside a restaurant or near a restaurant that has a smoker where there's a lot of the smoke and things like that. The issue with the nuisance part of it with the guests, so, I guess it's a lot of traffic or something. These are things that neighborhoods actually, whether it's a homeowners association or not, these are things that neighborhoods kind of get into. I think there's probably a bit of NIMBYism here, not in my backyard-ism going on here and what's happening in Texas, but they have the injunction, so they're going to be able to resume as usual. But I don't think that this is exactly as black and white as it is. I mean, there are plenty of people who can have issues with that same level of who's. I know plenty of black people who would probably never move beside a building where they're playing loudspeakers outside of it. So I get the whole culture argument.
You know, Roland, it is Melick is wrong. It is racial.
The reason this is a black and white issue, it is because this is not simply a one-off. Julian, I'm gonna let you make this point, but the reality is here. We are seeing this in black neighborhoods across the country.
Yes.
Where literally things that black people have done for decades are being changed, are being eliminated because whites moving in are saying, we don't like these things. That is indeed black and white. Julian, go ahead.
You know, but basically these colonizers, and that's what they are. They're colonizers who have a sense of entitlement. People have been playing go-go music in D.C., you know, forever. You don't like it? Move. You knew they had go-go music when you went there. You know, the churches. Shiloh has been there for, I don't know how long, more than 50 years, more than 60 years. You knew there was a church in the neighborhood when you moved to the neighborhood. You don't like it? Step. This is black and white because white people have a disproportionate amount of power to basically affect these changes in these urban areas.
Yeah, the Shiloh issue, because I've lived in D.C. all of this time, and there are black people who have had these conversations, not just about Shiloh, but churches in general, and the amount of parking that people, and in D.C., just as it is with a lot of our schools, you know, our schools here, there are a lot of residents who are not actually residents of D.C. They're coming from Maryland and Virginia into the city to park at these churches. So the parking thing has been an issue in D.C., whether you're black, white, Hispanic, or whatever. This has been a huge issue. So that's not a black and white issue.
But the way that people choose to go around,
churches should not have free reign to not just park, in particular with Shiloh, and just like it was with Metropolitan Baptist Church, which is probably about 3 or 4 blocks away from Shiloh. The issue is that there were the parishioners came into the city, and they were not just parking in zone parking spaces, they were double parking in those spaces. So there's a little nuance there that isn't just so white and black of people not wanting people. And I'm saying this as someone who knows black people who live in these neighborhoods where these churches are, and these black people have complained about the free reign churches have to park wherever they want to park, and they're not able to get to their front door because of the parking at the churches.
Prove it, Melick. Prove it. You're always asking people to prove something. Prove that, because I live in that.
You want me to invite them on the show or something?
I want affidavits. I mean, I live in that neighborhood as well. Everybody is kind of bent out of shape about parking, but most people, and most black people, are not so bent out of shape that they are wanting to church to move. In addition, some churches like John Wesley on the corner of 14th and Corcoran, they have a solution where they bought a parking lot. And so basically people can go into this enclosed parking lot.
Yeah.
My church, Metropolitan AME, we use a parking lot across the street. So everybody acknowledges parking is difficult in DC anytime. But the way that people have gone after these churches is nothing but racial.
But what if I can make a point regarding the parking issue, absolutely. Across the board in DC, parking is an issue. But what you don't see, which is why I believe this is a race issue, yes, they're dealing with Shiloh in this regard, but there are churches up and down 16th Street Northwest that haven't been touched by any type of injunction or complaint or anything like that regarding parking. There are churches up and down Northeast, like the closer you get to Capitol Hill, the less black people you see, but you also see more churches that are not rooted in African American religion denominations. And I don't see anybody complaining about people parking there. So it is a race issue.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, it's the holiday season. This is when you think about spending time with the family and friends. This is also when you count your blessings and support those less fortunate. This year, be a holiday hero and change someone's life forever. Right now, hundreds of thousands of Americans are sitting in jail without being convicted of a crime. Why? Because they lack the financial resources to pay their bail. Now think about it. If you are arrested for any minor offense, you will be taken directly to jail. If you don't have bail money, you will stay there until a court date is scheduled. That could be days, weeks, or even months. Simply put, America's bail system is broken for people of color. Freedom folks should be free. That's why the Ebony Foundation has partnered with the Bail Project and is sponsoring the Home by the Holiday campaign. The Bail Project has helped bail out thousands of people over the years. And with your help, we plan to bail out 1,000 people by New Year's Day. How's that for a holiday gift? A donation from you today can change someone's life tomorrow. Did you know people of color represent upwards of 90% of the jail population across the country? Without bail, nearly 90% of those charged with misdemeanors plead guilty. However, with paid bail, less than 2% receive a jail sentence. Folks, sometimes justice needs just us to fight for, to join the fight. You can be a holiday hero by donating $25, $50 or more to help the Ebony Foundation bring our brothers and sisters home by the holiday. To donate, go to homebytheholiday.com. It's homebytheholiday.com. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.
Any guys? Anybody? Any thoughts? Before we get out of here. All right. Same black time, same black channel. I'm out of here. Subscribe.